What's up, guys? RaiJinnski from editing here. Miss Timing TCG. Hope you're all doing awesome as always. Um, I do want to give you a heads up that this podcast is before the ban list dropped. We did do a little bit of recording earlier, but didn't have time to upload it at work. I also like doing other things as well, but I'll try my best on focusing on getting this as consistently out as possible. Again, it definitely helps us motivate to make videos like these. If you like, subscribe, and comment. And if you have feedback, just put them in the comments. I'll go ahead and read them. All right, how's it going? We're from Miss Timing TCG. My name's RaiJinnski. Bigman
Bigman YGO.
and Hratis over there drinking his cranberry juice, and we just wanted to talk about the upcoming ban list here, and we have some pretty interesting takes. Yeah, that's mainly it. Video end. 103 upstart ban,
Best band list.
Yeah, best ban list of all time. Because we don't have a brain, so like, we make our opponent win by using upstart.
Because every body great 60 card piles never exist anymore because everybody playing 40 card free pot agree.
There you go. That's the main culprit.
I gave you a logical reason.
That's the main culprit of this format, right? So ban cards, the BFD.
Well, it's kind of like a given.
Yeah,
Alright.
100% gonna happen. I mean, everyone's playing virtual and Dragtrons.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
The Dragtrons
can't go in the
They can't go into the VFT. You get my point.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, like, no. The FD is a big no.
Yeah,
Konami was just like, let's give you True Kings, and they were broken. Let's ban the one that's good. But then, they give us Virtual World.
It's like,
Why, though? Why?
To be honest here, all Virtual World is doing is showing the epitome of what the combo meta actually had the capability of doing. We were dropping VFDs with combo meta all the time. It wasn't a problem when VFD could only be dropped at one VFD. There were play arounds. You could sack a turn for an ogre if you really desperately needed to. Right now, the problem is that VW can literally play through any situation and still end with a VFD revolt.
And then VW can just pop it if there's like any type of interaction, so it just resolves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So again, why?
VFD at one is arguable because at least in that situation, if I get to nib a VW player, they're losing ones. They're not just being rebuilt to VFD. Maybe they have to rebuild to a different type of control boards. It might still be very strong, but it's not just
That's
VFD
what
to VFD. You actually make them have to think as an actual deck player instead of just letting them go off to the same combo.
Well, I mean, to be fair, let's be honest here. If VW gets VFD limited to one, welcome to the world of hand looping, because you're about to get got with gods. It's not going to be a fun day because they're gonna hand loop you for like 3, and then VFW is gonna come back and be like, "Nice deck, dude." No. What are you gonna do? Droplets?
I actually like that name. VFW is definitely
VFW.
VFW.
That is Volkswagen. I said Volkswagen rules.
it's fine. You think?
Ban.
Yeah, I think ban.
I think it should be like, for Konami's perspective, I think they're gonna do like a limited just because they probably want to sell. Keep in mind, whenever they decide to kill the deck, it's typically within the year span, and in the 6 months is when they typically like nerf things.
But let's be honest, what other deck is gonna play? I mean, at this point, no one's really buying virtual. Besides, shut up. We don't play it. Like, what other deck?
Dragon Maids.
Like, what other meta contender deck is gonna drop BFD? You could say Infernoble, but that's rogue at best. So
Dragonlink. Dragonlink can do it.
But I mean, like, they'd rather end on the fucking negate board. We're so good.
That's true.
They never needed VFD.
Yeah, it's like it's
At that
just a
point,
loss.
it's just like I'm trying to be edgy. I'm trying to be that one dude.
I mean, hey man, like for
At that point, you're playing.
first time going back to locals, that's what I do with Dragon Link. You're going BFD Savage.
You're just basically playing edgy Volkswagen.
Hey man, I love my Durgans.
What's the next on the list?
Yes. Bigman's favorite card, Zexal. Yes. Alex had a lot to say about this card last night.
So to sum up my rant last night, so basically my entire point is that if the meta is being dynamically shifted by VFD, if that card was so powerful, VW getting multiple copies of that oppressive card on the field led to this control meta completely wiping combo off of the meta. Then why is it that Zexal, a card that's arguably easier to get onto the field and more powerful than a VFD in every sense?
To be fair, it's kind of locked into an architect.
It's how? How is it
Everyone's
locked
going
into
over it, just swing it out.
You could argue that yes, you have to sacrifice extra deck for it. But if my guaranteed first turn play is it locks you completely out of playing your next turn, does it really matter what I put on the board after the fact? All I have to do is OTK you then. Because it goes, you can't play on your turn, but I hit you with this card. Zexal says you can't activate any card, unless yes, you magically draw into the specific hand traps coordinated deal with it. You get an ogre, you get a kaiju. You can play around it, but you can say the exact same thing about VFD.
It has the same exact scenario about VFD.
So-
It's like you can't play, right? So what do you do against Zexal? You do the same thing against VFD set.
Let me argue this. Let me argue this. One is seeing more presence than the other.
Granted,
So once Zexal starts becoming to the point to where everybody's playing it, that's the problem. Not everyone's playing it. They like different decks that do different things. So I argue that once the deck starts, so for example, VFD when it came out was oppressive. And then it was silent for how long? Because not every deck made VFD.
because it was super hard.
But now it's easy to make. So I argue that after this ban list, I would see it getting there. But no one is playing it too much. I mean, what are you going to go against? A Guru Nimron deck? Well, I mean, like, it's pretty good, but I mean, like,
Two that you are switching to the Bloom version too, because it's just a better
Yes.
card.
For them, it's easier to do because Credit Plan allows them to easily build up into it. And yes, arguably, the Dragoon was a problem card. The OCG was literally in an outcry when Dragoon brought because everyone had it and it was so easy to play. That honestly led to OCG ban very quickly. But you got to keep in mind that if we're thinking about OCG standards, OCG bans Zexal. You can't play Zexal over there. They know it's a problem. So the TCG trying to like, oh, it wouldn't be banned. It's arguable that yes, we may have the same scenario where it takes some time for Zexal to be banned. It needs to be ramped up and out of control. But I just think it's interesting that TCG ban lists are so. I get that we're sets behind, but why do we have to be ban lists behind? We have to see.
because, but it's the same card, but it's not always the same format. Because those three sets are ridiculous. If we go, like when we were combo heavy, if an OCG player coming up with this control deck, I'm gonna be honest with you, we are literally getting smacked. Going first or second, they're able to play through stuff, but they have stuff that we don't have.
That's true.
So that's why it got banned so quickly, is because you have to realize they have cards on cards on cards on cards on cards that we don't have. So that I argue that will Zexal get banned? Yes. Is it seeing more use? Yes. Is it time to hit it? No. It needs a little bit more time for it to get hit. Do I see it as a ban-worthy card? As a duelist, I have to say yes, even though I love my boy Zexal.
I think that is probably the most realistic argument there. And comparing it to VFD's lifespan is reasonable. You know, it took a while for VFD to get banned. It took VWs to really overplay the card and make it worthwhile to look at and pay attention to. Even though technically I could play several other decks that can go to VFD, there's no way I can like do 2 to 3 VFDs in one turn.
Exactly.
You know, so that's fair. Zexal itself though is like I could argue that VFD could go to limited because that's my
In a vacuum, yeah.
In a vacuum, VFD can go to a limited situation because VW with a limited VFD isn't as oppressive as it is right now. But Zexal is a card that is so oppressive that it has to go straight. And that's basically where I rank the cards. VFD is bad. Limited is where I leave. Zexal is so bad that I would ban it immediately.
So I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, you know, Konami.
The first time was the format now.
Yeah, Konami has to address what's going on right now. One Subterror Numeron. Did he even play the front?
He played Dragoon.
Not even just, so like Numeron is not doing anything. It's just a problem that our locals and then locals everyone online things, but no one's playing competitively yet. When BFD gets banned, I promise you Numeron is going to get played.
Yep.
And then that's when it's going to be a problem. But Konami is trying to look at the situation
Now, because there is a problem now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm thinking about resolving issues in the future.
Right.
Hasn't Konami,
We have to think in the terms of.
hasn't Konami been completely
Yes, they have.
Well, to be fair, when you have a 99% successful FTK that was just going to win every single event, yes, they eventually did.
But I think that there was a possibility they could see Zexel and go, well, this is going to be a problem as soon as we ban VFD. Why not ban it now?
Because they're releasing more and more cards. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
what if the more cards actually
So the argument that someone can come who loves Numerons and Zexel is you have Gamma, you have Kaijus, you have
You have-
Droplets.
You even have orange this format.
You
too.
even have. There's literally so many ways of getting rid of it. Is it annoying? It is abusive. Yes, but can you get over it? For sure. There's like it's not like a 100% get over card. So like what Zexel lacks in the term of I can activate it during your turn. VFD they can summon two of them. I only summon one Zexel because I have cards. So if they go ahead and negate my Zexel, I'm reliant on my traps and my Dragoon. I play Cancer, by the way, to survive. VFD, you can hit one of the VFDs, okay. Hit the other one.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo. You try to imperm. Wow, Pocket Chuchi. So, like, it's an impressive card, but that card you can summon multiple. Zexel is only one per turn. Sure, you can argument, oh, they have judgment, oh, they have this, oh, they have that. Let's be realistic now. Not everyone has the perfect card for the perfect situation. You play Yu-Gi-Oh, you know.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next one.
What's your take on Zexel?
Well, I think it should be banned,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's. Yeah, I think Tibbs is right. It shouldn't. It's not gonna.
It's not going to be banned now, but it's
Yeah,
going to be
it's not
banned in
gonna
the
be banned
future.
now.
Yeah, I can
It's
see
still
that.
worth focusing on. Yeah.
It's like the format right now is what they need to address with this VW.
VW and Draytron. Main thing.
All right. The best boy himself, Dragoon.
I don't
think they're gonna touch it.
I don't think they should touch Dragoon. I think they should touch things that permeate Dragoon play.
Now, listen to me, folks. This, I've already seen a whole bunch of YouTubers call people who say this is dumb. Ban Verte. Everyone's like, what? Hey, listen to this. Nightmare Mermaid. You just have to go into a Phoenix just to go off with the Orcus combo. Now you're telling me if I am and you have like 4 interruptions, I get to punish you because I get to summon 2 monsters to summon a monster that can't be targeted or destroyed and burning. Excuse me? Make people play the bricks. Like Verte,
That's fair. 100%.
yeah, it's like it's to the point to where if I'm going through my combos and I can't get there, I have 2 monsters. I'm all right. What are you gonna do?
I have another hot take on that, but it relates to another card. I think like limiting Red Ice Fusion would be the take, just because you're just forced to run 3 inside for the decks that want to play more Dragoon, right?
See,
So you're going to play 3 inside. You're going to play the 2 bricks and then the Red Ice Fusion itself,
so I'm
plus the Wyvern. So you're forcing them to run 6 bricks and may not be able to activate Red Ice Fusion.
so I'm
If it's in the hand, then they can't activate Verte.
so I'm pro that. The issue is that they're going to kill off a legacy deck, and that's just going to just make the whole deck even worse.
I mean,
a lot of fans be mad.
you could argue too with the Buster Plater. Why Dragon Balls?
That one takes a lot of setup to do.
And also Blackwings. We have Blackwing tuners left and right.
True.
So Blackwing fans are kind of pissed about that, right?
Exactly,
So-
but it's not the same in terms of you have to realize
Right.
Red Eyes, all the support is one of the more iconic decks. And I hate to say it, meta-wise has to do with legacy and casual players.
Yeah,
Because
they
that's
spend
what-
as much money as they do.
Exactly. So if
As
you
much as I
get
say
a
it.
card like that, they're gonna be really pissed off and then be like, I hate this game, yada yada yada. I just feel like Predaplants is such a versatile card that literally any deck can just literally top an event because going into Verte.
And to be honest,
I mean-
same. you want to step away from Dragoon real quick. Let's say, okay, we limit that fusion card so they get popped into hand. What if they just throw Super Poly into the deck and use Verte as an actual attack card on the thing? Verte in itself is so spliceable that, and honestly, you could even argue that the only reason Dragoon play is actually so prevalent is because the moment Verte got released, that's when people picked up on that combo, and Dragoon started dropping constantly. Like, Verte Dragoon, in that particular arc of the combo meta, suddenly became the go-to, and that's why the OCG hated it so much they had to get rid of it.
Right, it's just rewarding players for not being good or not managing their resources the best. It's just basically saying, well, crap,
Basically,
I went through all of this.
They're basically rewarding us for being me.
Yeah. Eating
You
food.
said it, not me.
Yeah.
But
Hey, I gotta self, I gotta like be, I mean the person who actually plays the game on like, yeah, like you guys are doing deck hacks and stuff, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm probably gonna start doing live streams and stuff too. So
I'm not the best player at this table. I am probably the worst player at this table. Regardless of the fact that I'm fairly new compared to these guys. I only started 2 weeks before the December ban list. I genuinely think that from plans should be banned. I agree with Tibbs. Because of the fact, yeah, it's way too splashable.
It's arguable that there are other ways to go and cut down onto it, but in the reality, Verte's main gimmick, on top of everything else of its versatility and how easy it is to use, is the fact that it gets around the only limitation that Red Eyes Fusion even has.
and if you look at the top players, none of them are complaining about Dragoon. What are they complaining about?
Anaconda.
They're no, not
They're not
Anaconda. They're basically upset about BFD. A bunch of that shenanigans. So I mean, like to the point to where sure you need to listen to your casual gamers, but your pro players are not even worried about Dragoon. There's something in.
Verte is basically an issue when you fall back down to road, though, and that's
Yeah.
realistically where it's actually effective.
well,
When you're talking about top tier play, yes, we're only gonna see the biggest meta, the best options, but Verte just on a regular local level, it just basically gets people out of any bad decisions or
Well-
bad deck building they may have inadvertently decided on. Right?
well, keep in mind too, in regards to that Verte, right? Back then we only played Links because Master Rule 4 boys, right? So what did Konami do to make sure that the other part of the extra deck gets played? They released Verte so that way you're forced to play Fusion. Whether it be the best Dragoon play, right, is still a Fusion
I
regardless.
honestly don't think they really intend for everyone to abuse it like that.
Synchro place, we have Needle Fiber.
And so they abuse. So
See what I mean?
but that's the thing.
We are using card mechanics to basically bring out other card mechanics.
I just don't
And
feel
look at
like
Zeus. And because Zeus exists, we play more Xyz now in our extra deck.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but I mean, like at this point, that's just it's just a rank 2, and we all know that there's problematic rank 2s. And there's a card that lives.
Yes, Verte rank 2, let's go.
Well, we all
Please
know,
bet them.
but we all know that like when there's a rank link that's through, and starts off everything, it just takes 2 monsters.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what's hype, doesn't matter what deck you're playing,
I think,
and you can go ham. That's a problem.
yeah, I could see that.
It's a huge
So, verdict on Dragoon. Dragoon, just a card.
problem.
Dragoon
I
itself
agree
is
that Dragoon is fine.
it's not realistically the worst thing ever. Yes, it's strong. Yes, it has a board wipe. Yes, it's an omni negate. But it's as susceptible as most other boss monsters. It by itself isn't the problem. It's just the versatility of how fast it can feel.
High juice.
The big answer really was kaiju.
Oh, and another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't Ash Blossom Verte versus Red Eyes Fusion, so you can
Exactly.
see that. And you can technically do full combo and then Verte and then with Dragoon versus
Yes.
same Red Eyes Fusion. What's your verdict on it, DuoCat?
That's my verdict.
Yeah,
Dragoon's fine.
Dragoon's fine. I think it is the problem card. I'm gonna be like the only one different here. I think it needs to be man. All right, hot take by the winner of Guru Dragon Last Invitational, Eva Bang. This was featured at Twinkle 40's channel that Eva should be banned.
No, it's alright. That's it.
Hratis is still got this.
To be honest, when I've reasoned out the amount of plus value that Eva gives, there's realistically no reason at all that we went and got rid of Hawk Dragon, and then someone could sit there and argue that Eva isn't as good.
So I understand that Evo's just being played a one of. It's just in Dratron, it's kind of like Ben 10 doing everything. So that's kind of the issue of searching that card. And then you're just like, God, why?
Well, keep in mind, most unedited in the game don't give you ultimateness. If you pitch Eva, it gives you a +2 after negating.
Did I say it wasn't a problem? I'm saying it's BS, but right now we're not trying to kill it, the new deck.
It's the reason why you keep it in, right?
No.
Stand. If they do not get rid of Ben 10 because they want to promote the deck, sure it's good. The best thing to do would be to cop out Eva play. Yes,
You could also hit Natasha, but that's also another hot take.
Natasha is arguably a different situation.
Exactly.
Real value. Eva gets plus in the real time of the match. Even if for some reason I decide to not run ultimateness and I just drop a Vanity's ruler on you, if I have a orange Herald and an Eva in hand with a couple of hand traps, that means I could sit there and dish hand traps at you, Herald, negate your board, tossing Eva, put 2 more hand traps back in my hand, and keep keeping you from going off. So what's the difference between having an ultimateness on the field and having infinite hand?
So the issue with that is in terms of playability of the player, and in terms of what you have in your opening hand, and how your deck is made. So if we be honest here, nobody can pick up Drytron and be good at it. It's one of those decks that you actually have to have.
That's definitely true.
But they not have the knowledge sometimes of how to get to Eva. But what do you have the knowledge of? Ben 10 search.
Ben 10
search. So if we limit this card to 1, that makes them actually have to think, have to make them get to that point into terms of you have hand traps, you have things to interact. You are stopping what they can do, like potentially their ceiling is being dropped down. They have to play their resources right. Will it still be a meta deck? Yeah, have you seen the XYZ? Insane. It's fun. You have to know how to play the deck. It's a lot easier to play a Monk, Inspector Border, Noonron, whatever. This is a problem deck, for sure. But on the local scene, people who don't know how to play know that Ben 10 searches multiple times. That's it.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you notice, even then they just search for the wrong cards and their resources are messed up, and they lose themselves out of the Bandy's play or the ultimate display. This is a deck you just cannot just pick up. I keep saying that over and over again, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like Zoo came out, there were horrible players. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Horrible players, but what they go into? Oddball. Exactly with him. But the good players know how to manage their resources.
And it even spikes up the ceiling.
So I say for right now, Eva, because they only play like 1 or 2.
They only play 1.
No, 1. Right now, Eva is fine. In competitive play, is it going to be an issue down the road? I've said the exact same thing like Zach. So it's going to be an issue, but is it ban worthy right now? Have you read Ben 10?
So let me throw this in there for future problems. Ben 10 gets limited. Why do I not just run Evidence Authority? Why don't I just immediately go, okay, can't run Ben 10 to 3, Ben 10 goes to 1, Eva goes up to 3.
Well, because that comes like a really huge break, because the way Drytron works is they pop Drytron stuff or Ben 10. So it's a searchable thing.
Ritual monster.
Huh?
Not Ben.
Ritual.
Rituals, yes.
They use.
Cards they use is they send.
Yeah, so when you get rid of their thing they have to pop, they just can't run just 3 extra monsters that does absolutely nothing to the main part of their deck. It's just going to sit there.
Yeah.
So I can see it too.
2, yeah.
But then even then you have to be big brain to get it to the graveyard.
Medium carrier gone night.
Shut up, you.
Sorry, I'm the only drunk player in this table, so I know how to do it.
As you can see, he's the most fun one.
Can you just fully bury all the things?
You can also just fully bury all the things.
But they're not gonna play.
You're not gonna fully. You need to fully.
It feels like Scout Strikers was somehow smart like that. Whoa!
Because understandably, if they do end up limiting or banning Ben 10, though, you have to keep in mind that Drycrons aren't just going to sit there and take it. They'll just take that archetype, that entire engine, swap it into a different.
Exactly.
I know what you're saying.
Like they would.
It's not fair. Right now, the way Drytron is playing, it is not fair. Megalists are going to be the thing.
Yep, that's the next
The
topic.
XYC is going to be a thing.
Yep. We might even.
Right now, we have to do the best of what we can do. And what's the number one issue is them who's able to spam ability. And you need to get rid of Benton. Benton is cancer. It was cancer and Cyber Angels. And now we have Cyber Angel 2.0 just sitting at us. And just glaring at you be like,
That's fair. That's fair.
what did you say?
Hot take on Eva.
Eva is fine with one.
As a Drytron player, you can take Eva to the ban list as long as I get my girl.
No Benton.
Alright, next take. Birthday, we kind of went over that. So,
And also in line with the Dragoon.
it falls in line with the Dragoon mostly.
Yeah.
Other places kind of okay, like Trinkets just go Butler, or like Thunder Dragon Colossus, or Titan, right? The Thunder Dragon deck. Like, it's not as oppressive as like going into Dragoons. And that's the reason why I could argue Dragoon needs to be banned.
Thing to even realistically argue on Verte outside of the Dragoon is the Super Poly. And that's just
Yeah.
because it's spice and you can basically pop something off someone's board for a
But
profit.
it's just so generic. You can just put it in anything. Doesn't
Yep.
even matter. You can play Thunder Dragons. Is it going to be consistent? No. But if you can pull it off, hey, that's kind of nutty, dog. That's all I have to say. When you playing zombies, have you read Fusion for Golden Lord? Yo, Zombie World's a card. Super Poly hurts.
Super Poly hurt. Zombie Wolf is a card. That new Eldritch fusion is going to be beautiful.
In the mirror,
If I
essentially.
really wanted to, like, my perfect spice on that, it's like, if I wanted to make Verte for me useful, I usually always tend back towards combo. Even if I play a control deck, I'm comboing to get the control.
Oh, and there's another issue. I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you remember that one tournament these players played Verte, didn't even use his effect?
Yeah,
It's a bluff.
it was a bluff to Dragoon.
That's the issue. That's the issue to where you can just bluff out somebody because that card is so ridiculous. You have to like destroy it as soon as it hits the field.
Yeah.
You have to immediately react on it because of its mere existence.
Yep.
The fact that they could just be there and just be like, "What's up?" and then just like,
But it's like any responses. You know, like you just look at them.
and they just start sweating like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, how much life points left?"
It's like, okay, Vente hits feet. One of two things is more than likely to happen. They're getting a Dragoon, or they're going to Super Poly report, or they could even run Ultron and just get a full board stake back off Poly. Because Verte
Roger's other effect basically Super Poly.
So what?
No, it turns something to dark.
Yeah, it turns
Okay, so you turn something to dark and it self so you can Super Poly can like something like
Poly, okay.
Is it only on your field, or is it any creature?
It's on field.
So, argue this. If I play Verte, I could use its ability to target one of your creatures, make it a dark, Super Poly to Fusion Venom. Yeah.
That's what Zombie World. Let's not even go there.
And yes, future issue.
Alright. Healthy Firebrand. Noodle Fiber himself.
I would not touch it right now. I think the Link Cross ban did its job already.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, what? Dragon Link somewhat uses it. What do you do?
Infernal Bolts.
Yeah,
Okay, and plant players over here apparently.
Any combo deck
Yeah.
that can go to Healthy
Look,
Fiber's gonna be
If
it.
healthy, if you play two that you want on the field 100% of the time, you got your boys right there.
Right.
3-2.
So right, but at this point, like it's
During
like,
this meta, I think it's fine.
yeah, because back in the day, you're like, wow, do I negate the link cross or negate the needle fiber? Now, if you just negate the needle fiber, my bad. It's just like,
Yeah.
Well,
Need another extender?
so it's fine.
Okay.
Is it nutty? Sure. Is it cute? I guess. Light Sworns? Love it.
No, man, I just want to play Chris Franz.
All right, new topic.
Alright, Guard Dragon LP. Everybody and their entire mom for like a couple banlists wants this card banned, but now it's a totally different format. Does it need it?
It's a power card for a deck that's mediocre at best. Dragon Link sees some success because good players play good decks.
Here's the argument for LP, as people say. It warps the card design for future cards because LP exists.
Yeah, to be fair, in most situations, it's like, I need a free extender. So, am I going to go and find a complicated route, or am I just going to play LP? You know, LP Piston is literally the fall down to all combo. If you play any form of dragon, then LP Piston.
I would argue if Guard Pan was around, we need to get rid of LP.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's just LP, it just gives a dragon player a free summon. That's it. I mean, this whole deck, everything is just free if you think about this point. As long as you have the right Ben 10 free LP. So we're getting rid of a deck that was abusive with link boss, that spams use boards. Now it's susceptible, that has to run like triple tactic talents, call by, just to produce a board that they can compete. So if we get rid of that one card that is susceptible to Nibiru, even Ogre, Gamma, even Infern, back in the day, sure, it can go through 3 hand traps. And LP was insane.
Right now, the way they set up their board, it's Appaloosa and underneath it itself.
Yeah.
I'll say it's pushing hand trap is kind of hard. So like the only hand trap really.
You didn't stop them before that for Appaloosa, you nerd. What do you do? How many mistakes? And it's not abusive as everyone thinks. LP is fine. That is not like the problem card. Because if they loan an LP and they're stuck, what do they go into? Steve? Birthday. Birthday. Back to birthday. Screw that card.
Yeah.
I
think LP's fine here.
I think LP potentially has the highest chance of being banned, simply because it's been a ban-worthy card for so long, and it's been dipping under the ban list every time, to the point where I think Postcard might try to ban it. The only argument for keeping it is if Konami wants to sell for Unity, they might want to maintain the actual generic dragon.
Because I already know we're not getting the structure deck for y'all. It's going to be in a box. We're going to get the Infernoble treatment. So that is a great point. I don't feel like it's like how many sets before it comes out?
Like 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, 2, 3. It doesn't make any sense for them to ban it. Just for them to bring it back.
Have they released Ghosts from the Past yet?
No.
No, they
So
haven't.
it's probably
April.
going to be.
The set after goes for the past.
So it's not really even a set, or not just kind of like a leg.
It's kind of like the maximum goal.
It's in the
Yeah,
next-
so
it's
it's not
mini
really a
set.
real set. It's just kind of like.
I mean, the upcoming set is Ancient Guardians with
Right.
Sartix, Horny Chords, all that good stuff. But that's also like a similar set to Genesis. And
So,
it's a deck building
sorry guys, I think Elf is going to be around for the longest. You have a problem with Dragon Link, play hand pass.
Run Nib.
Dragon Link.
Run Nib.
Run Nib.
They
Yeah.
being to a Nib.
Dude, yeah, just play Nib against me. I would love it because you never resolve it against me. So, baby.
Yeah. Next card on the list, ban Hot Tub. Loud.
Yeah,
Pete. Yeah, it's definitely a no. It's not happening. BFD is the problem, ban BFD. It's not Cloud Castle.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it.
To be honest, I think Cloud Castle ban, the reason why people bring it up and they talk about it is literally just because they want to try and think of a way to hit BFD without hitting BFD.
Yeah, but no, just hit the card.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like Konami has done it before. Rest
It's
in
like
peace,
when-
starving Venom. Because I played Pendulums and I played the TK. Was that generate? Yes. But Starving Venom wasn't the problem card. It was this little level 1 that's mad annoying.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like when Wizard Coast banned Mystic Sanctuary in Modern.
I mean, I can see that because
Yes.
keep in mind you can repeat Cryptic Command over and over.
Yes,
I can
you'd have to find a way to bounce land over and over.
You keep in mind Cryptic Command says target permanent to balance.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
And it
That-
says choose two, so
My
therefore,
point is mute.
so therefore I choose Sanctuary.
It's fun to talk about not likely to actually.
Exactly. All right. That's pretty much it for the bands. How about limited? We talked about a little bit on Red Ice Fusion.
Same argument there on Red
Yeah.
Fusion. If you hit Verite, who cares if it's
Exactly. All right. Next card on the list. The fourth time in the year, normal summon Alistair the Invoker.
Alistair the Invoker?
If you listen here, you shouldn't be touched, but if you find enjoyment for the last 4 or 5 years of normal summoning Alistair, and you think you deserve your place in this meta,
Now, I think
They say it's a new year, new me, but we still do normal summon Alistair.
Mecha buff, oh,
I
Mecha buff so good.
I don't think. I mean, like the whole. Actually, from a design standpoint, I think it's an awful card. But I think it's.
It's
like,
a one card engine.
yeah.
essentially.
I think from a design standpoint, it's the bad card. From like a gameplay standpoint, Invoke doesn't do much.
Yeah.
Like it's literally like it has to be paired with something else. Like,
Yeah, it's just the consistency of Invoke. is
They're
what
better
makes it-
normal summons, but hey,
I mean,
you
the
just
thing
love your
is-
respect for it, don't
The
you?
thing
Love and
is,
respect.
it's like, here's why you want to limit it. If you realistically want Alistair to be limited, it's because you deal with the fact that people these days are just splashing everything they possibly can into 60-card piles, and Alistair is most definitely one of those cards where when it came out, instantly splash into free Mechaba at start of turn.
It's
You
like
either stop my Mecha by hitting field, or you lose out on a hand.
but you also have to address the problem. There's another card we missed, the Deer Servant.
the Deer Servant is on something we gotta talk about.
Yeah. So that's
I got
an issue we have to talk about. One Mechaba is all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the issue is that so Dogmatics came out. It was to the point of where we don't have a normal summon. What I can produce a fusion monster. So it was like the hard basis of how Dogmatica came into this format, and Alistair was just so happy to be brought along for the ride. Is it annoying? Yes. Would people like to see normal summon Alistair? No, it's boring after 5 years. But is it really ban worthy? If you look at our meta, every now and again you see it rear its ugly head. But everyone take it out for Shagalls. We took it out for traps.
And like I said, it hasn't been doing much recently.
Yeah, it's just
It's not.
at that point.
It's just stupid.
At this point, they're adding a negate for them to get their dogmatics active in line.
Yeah.
It's like the Kira deck terminal.
And it's the other thing is like, yes, when Dogmatica came out, it basically just replaced Alistair's the go-to splash anyway. But I feel like since we are falling back into 60-card piles, it's like, well, why don't you just run both of them? Maybe you'll hit Alistair, maybe you'll hit Dogmatica.
Well, that's what they did. They combined them both.
Exactly.
So that's why Alistair really came out, because they splashed those together.
Mhm.
And then they started running traps and like, yo, traps, get this format.
To be fair though, like from my standpoint, it's like Dogmatica for me is the more recent problem, but I had to deal with Alistair the Invoker as your standard typical starter play throughout the entirety of combo meta.
So this format, I'll be honest with you guys,
Maybe not.
we've been on a freaking roller coaster here. Let's talk about it. We started off from our base freaking dogmatic stuff, Infernobles, all these shenanigans, and things that just went oh.
It's surprising that they only ban like 3-4 cards.
But it changed so much. If you just think about it, there's so many different decks.
I think because of DFD, right? Because the way since Virtual World entered the format, it's like Virtual World has entered the game. Was like, I do VFD. What are you gonna do against VFD? And it's like combo through.
And you have to look at it now. Not like players are forcing themselves to play DFD because it's so DFD. That's what it is.
VFD, yeah.
They're just
And, like-
forcing themselves to play the deck because it's good. This is
And
entertaining.
the other half is just playing backwards.
Exactly. And then that's why you see decks like True Lyricist getting action and stuff like that. It's basically a mini BFD with a whole bunch of negates, but it's so much fun to get there. Like all Virtual Worlds seeing play is just see all these stars that came out with the deck. Like what Jesse Cotton did the whole Drytron thing, and then he got bored of it and he went on to something else.
Yeah, Jessica just basically played the glue. Basically like 5 monsters was Eldritch and like a football. And the Dragoon Vex basically. And it's 26 troops. 26 traps voting Forkla. 26 traps.
So good.
You
But
know what? You know what's the answer to this format? Return to Monkey.
so Alistair limit to 1. It doesn't really do anything, y'all. If anything, it helps road decks somewhat compete in a somewhat lackluster way. If they're not running Shaddolls, they're not the smartest cookie in the bunch. If they just normal Alistair, and that's all they have to do. Just saying, you're probably not worried about 1 Mechaba when you can go Dragoon and win.
Yeah. I like I said at the beginning of this this part of the discussion. I think that the invoked engine doesn't do much without anything else. So like I think Alistair's fine.
Okay. All right, guys. Have you read Mist?
Have you read Mist?
That's the next discussion. Have you read Mist?
Have you read Mist?
Have you read Mist? I think OB Raptor should be there.
Oh.
Should be like-
Let me be honest with you guys. I was talking to you guys about representation. So when I was talking about they should focus on the format now, not in the future. This is the part where I'm gonna go back on that because what rears its head every time there's a new meta deck? Dinos. They're trying to build their new meta decks, trying to be tier 1. The dinos come out of nowhere. I'm so good. Let me get the talk. And then once the meta solidifies, it's gone. That crap is annoying now, Konami. Minsk was hit for a reason. Why they brought it back? No clue. Needs to go back down to 1. And I don't even like UTC.
This is custom card levels for protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't know if you guys seen the first video where it's like, oh I summoned Blue Eyes Dragoon. I'm like,
Yeah, I had a custom card.
You know why I want Mist to stay at 3 right now? I want Mist to stay at 3, and I want Dinos to start taking brackets. You know what I want to know why? Because then I'll get my Pull by the Grave back to 20. Excuse my.
That's
Okay, besides his selfish reasons, it should be Ellen.
yeah, it should be at 1.
The people
I mean, you can argue. You can argue to put it at 3. However, Uvi Raptor needs to be at 1.
what about you?
Yeah.
Obi Rap?
Uvi Raptor.
Oh,
You need-
no.
You actually admit you need Uvi Raptor to search it.
Right, but no. If anything here was fossil dig at that point, look at Obi Raptor. You're just killing off the credit. You want it to be, you want it to be competitive.
Yeah.
You just want to be abusive.
What about Mist 2?
No.
It doesn't do anything.
Fossil dig, Over Raptor, that's 60.
The only thing that needs to be at 2 is literally malicious.
Okay, let's say they go with it. Let's limit Mist. What stops a Dino player from just putting Foolish Burial in as their third Mist anyway? They can just.
That's fair.
And plus, in essence, they're playing 8 mix with the 3 flipping, which is a fossil dig,
Fossil dig,
Obi
Obi
Raptors, and then the 2.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
fine.
it's, in essence, there is.
I was just throwing out the yes there. I was kind of just throwing a suggestion out there, but I guess no, it makes sense.
Should be 1 or
All right, girl, Benson. Benson.
gone.
Benson.
Gone.
Limited
Bye. Limited 1 or gone. I don't care. Either one.
And it's limited one.
Bye, Felicia.
Limit to 1 is the more realistic approach if Konami is going to hit one of their biggest sellers.
I'm telling you guys this right now. If they don't hit it, I'm playing Dracon.
You're like, I'll just learn the deck.
Yeah, at that point, they're like, yeah, that's just basically, talk about eating glue. It's like eating Gorilla Glue right here. The more potent stuff. Sure, you have to think, but we always end on same board. We so good at this game, the only people we lose to is ourselves.
I mean,
I'm gonna.
I don't know about that, Chief. I mean,
Actual statistics on Drytron though, they've been going downhill fast.
Yeah.
DW has been getting Drytrons, yes, require brain power, even with the Ben 10 loot. And if we limit Ben 10, what is gonna happen to Drytron since they're already
Their XC is coming through.
if there exists, here's the thing.
I promise you, so the only reason why BFD has gone up is because of that new support that's going to go right back down because of the new hype. You have to realize how fun Megalith Drytron is. Even if they hit it to 1, that thing is going to see an increasing amount of play. It's so much fun. There's so many different routes to get to the same area. Is this abusive? Yes. Is it problematic? Yes. Should Drytron's been a thing? No. But They're gonna have to limit it to one
Let's do
because that XYZ is just too insane, you know. Let's just be honest here. Imagine
That is
full
not-
powered Drytron, XZ, 3 Benton, Evas, Ben McWolf. That's gonna be too much for me though.
Honestly, a limit Ben 10 is just gonna probably fall into that megalith ritual.
Mhm.
We do have new rituals coming up though, don't we?
No, not that I know of.
Not that
Now, I think
The
that's gonna
ritual
be-
deck itself is Drytron.
I thought we were having dragon rituals coming out or something. Maybe I'm thinking.
Yeah, my boy Necros can support y'all.
Mm.
Come on now.
Necro support is Drytron.
No.
Retro Necros, what
No.
are you up to?
At that point, it's like so many fucking up to be like. So
Let's just
ignore that. So that at that point, this is like nice Necros deck. So here's what we do: we caught all 40 cards, right? Then we play 3 alpha, 3 Benton. Let's go.
Alpha Benton, Alpha Benton, game 2.
So okay. We all have a realistic point of view on it. Limiting Ben 10 is going to lead to a megalith format for Drytron, and that seems like a pretty solid way for them to go. And I think it's going to be fine because if we do pull Drytrons away from just having ultimateness and infinite fairy hand grab, it's going to be a little.
Megaliths, they brick. They brick a lot. They're all rocks. They're actually bricks.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So they'll make the deck. Will the ceiling be high? Sure. Do you have to have a good pilot for the deck? Absolutely. But it's rewarding enough. I mean, it rewards the player for being good. But if you keep, this is gonna be like every deck you can break.
Yeah.
It won't be the just insane like 2% chance of breaking. Unless you're Jin and you break all the time.
Yeah. Unless you're me, just open Triple Ash and you
That's
just ash
not-
the Scarlet Sing in existence.
That's not That's my comment earlier about Jen losing a lot with Drytron.
Yeah, Mr. I want to open up Triple Ash. Then draft. I'm just tapping you on.
That's the reason why I break. We just open hand traps.
What's the next on the list, dog?
Scarlet Sanguine.
Obviously needs to be at 1.
No. So,
Go
so since I'm the only one here who plays,
I
I call it a Lich Numeron.
No. It's called Glue Lich.
played quite a bit of Witch Online. So.
Real life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, gatekeeper, relax.
You should play fighting games if you're gonna gatekeep.
So if we look at the deck, right? So its main consistency is trading off 1-for-1 value. Okay.
I don't know about that.
So every time you use the trap, it replaces itself. Next turn, it does every single trap.
Yes.
It replaces itself. So if
So you get it's always a +1 regardless.
Yes.
So yes, okay, I understand that. Now I would argue limiting Kurt Elman to 1 and keeping Sanguine where it's at. Now the reason why I say that is like sure it's a slow competitive like engine, but then again it's a slow competitive engine that you have to use your brain to play. You can't just you have to know what to search, you have to know what your matchup is. Golden Lord is pretty good, but people are playing that at 2-to-1 now. You have to, if you get Sanguine, you're getting rid of the one way that you can literally summon out the main part of the deck. At that point, like, that's like literally taking away your alpha, putting it to 1 with Vincent Allen. It's like, this almost like the same one. You're taking away a main part of that deck at 1. So you guys get mad that it's a 1-for-1, but how many decks in this game is 1-for-1? There's a lot of different decks that plus off of just 1 card. Golden Lord is not the problem. You have BFD, you have Numerons, you have Dragoons. I said not to ban them right now, but they are problem cards. 1 pop and 1 banish, maybe once a turn, if we're lucky for that, is not an issue.
So the only thing that I have about Sanguine, it doesn't activate in the end. It activates anywhere else.
Okay, but that's just the part of getting me a monsters, because you can Ash or Bell that with ease. The only thing that's getting me is a useless body that I can hopefully try to make into something later.
Yeah.
Because what is it going to do after you ash it or you bell it?
You just ban it to set another.
Right. So then I would have to. I have a dead body for one turn that can most likely protect my life points, but does absolutely nothing.
Sanguine being limited is not an argument against Eldritch. The reason why people bring up Sanguine to 1 is because
Sanguine turns you online and it's splashable.
the problem is that other people are able to take Eldritch Engine, and it's because Sanguine just gives them so much utility. They're able to literally post 3 Sanguines into any 60 card pile with some Eldritch capability, and like that's it. There we go. We have this Lulich combo that we can throw in anytime we need it.
So I argue.
Here's the problem that I foresee in the future. We're about to get a very powerful Eldritch Fusion card. If we're still sitting on Lulich, we're going to be seeing those decks spike in power the moment Eldritch comes.
So I argue, limit or ban first element. This searches me anything I want. With Golden Lord, I can send it to grave and I can replenish my resources. Limit the consistency card. This is the non-searchable consistency card that gets me whatever I want. They say get rid of that, not Sanguine. Because this thing, it's an ash bait, but even if you ash it, I'm still abusing it by sending something to the graveyard, and then I can get a Sanguine. Then I can get whatever I want. So this right here gives me my pop, my banish, or my Sanguine.
I could understand doing it because there is the problem right now with like, okay, in Blue Lich, we're running 3 Purcell, we're running 3 Sanguine, and we're running 3 Eldritch Golden Lords. These people are able to. Or
Two most. And two what Carol's is the call right now, and pretty conquistadors, of course.
Of course. So if we do hit first Eldlin, I think it'll have the same effect as hitting Sanguine itself. Either way, you're getting rid of the consistency for Blue Lich. You just abuse the fact that even if I have Blossom 1, I just pop the other.
Well, also, you have to realize if you hit Sanguine to 1, you're shutting off the rest of the traps and their function to set an elixir. That's our only one that's usable.
Mm-hmm.
So if we hit this, you're not shutting off my main engine.
Yes.
If you hit that, 1 banish, I'm done. And then that just makes it unfair. At that point, I'd rather play Sub-Terror, or I'd rather play Alistair.
Yes, Alistair, after discussing
No.
the 5th year of notable time.
What's that one deck? Let's see. Altergeist. I'd rather play Altergeist.
I guess that's fair because in that sense, like, yes, okay, Curse Eldlin.
I think it's
on
hard
the
to put
field.
Oakland is like either loaded or semi-loaded, and yeah, OC too.
Yes.
It's a 2.
Yeah, semi-loaded.
So just to cut back on some consistency, and I do have my concerns on the limiting of Sanguine. I don't feel like it's fair to Eldritch players, but I also feel that it's the only way to stop people from abusing.
Well, that's why I say send this to 1, because that means I have to hard draw an engine and I have to use a body to get my stuff going. This says I don't have to.
Right.
But if this is at 1, I have to be lucky because there's no way for me to search this card.
Yeah, there's no
None whatsoever. So if you give me this at 1, this is basically a roto. A limited 1 roto. That you can ash. That sure, like
you can also
ogre it too. So it's like the one time I get a benefit of it. As soon as it hits the grave, it's dead to me. I can't use it. I'll have 2 more I can search for. Or I can hopefully draw.
So you also have to keep in mind the Sanguine by itself, because like honestly, Curse Eldlin by itself, I actually don't see that a lot when I run up against a community with players. They're abusing the fact that the other cards and other archetypes have the ability to search up basic trap cards. If I can search using a different engine to pull Sanguine to my hand, on top of the fact that it's running at 3 and I can just fall into it naturally.
Talking about Lilith.
Lilith.
It's
trap
trap
card.
Okay, but those are like rare instances in like rogue level decks. We're talking about if we look on the meta perspective, limiting this to 1 would be the right play. Because everyone's playing 3 of a card that can give you anything in your deck. So if you do this to 1, this is just a rotor that you can ash for 1 time. And I have to hopefully keep it on the field for me to resolve whatever. Because if I just have this and rest monsters, you ash this, I have no Eldritch cards.
Yeah.
And this is a continuous too.
Right.
So you gotta keep in mind that thing is not just susceptible to a basic patch. I could ogre it, same thing. I
Exactly.
could cosmic or MST,
Exactly.
same thing. Sanguine though does not have those limitations.
True.
Sanguine itself, if
It's slightly more unlimited.
if Sanguine was that, you're right. If I Cosmic Cyclone, that just kills an Eldritch player. That's not realistically fair to them. But the problem isn't realistically the Eldritch player themselves. I wish I didn't have to request that something hurts them that bad. Because by themselves, they're just a pretty good control deck.
So I feel like hitting Curse Elven to 1, Sanguine, you can Ash, you bell it, and then it's just giving me a trap that I have to hopefully use next turn to get me another Sanguine.
Okay.
So it's just a stall deck. It's just for me, not a stall, it's just a control deck where I'm trying to get resources. This makes it unfair. This even searches out Golden Daddy if I want to get rid of something. Yeah, so this can say I can get whatever I want in my deck. I have 3 of them, whatever. Like every Eldritch player, even if you don't see them opening this, they're running 3 of this. This is the reason why this is a $35, $40 card.
Okay. Yeah.
So like this is the problem card. Sanguine, if you just even Cosmic my Sanguine after I resolve the Golden Lord, my God, I have to hopefully get another Eldritch card.
No, you don't. How did we get paid, bro? Just run for it.
Right.
So this OCG putting it at 2% or per settlement anyway is an interesting take on it. Running per settlement to 1 would also be an interesting take on it. But right now, as far as it stands, because of the situation with Blue Glitch, even if it's just a blue issue, it's still very problematic, not only in the sense of like people having to deal with these 60 card piles. It's problematic for Konami's viewpoint, where they look at this and go, "Why is this so splashable? What can we do?" So I just feel like worst case scenario, Konami is going to hit your best card, and it's going to be because other people are abusing your Eldritch engine for piles.
All I'm saying is like, if they hit this, there's gonna be some more other stuff that's gonna come and replace it.
Of course.
Promise you.
Of course.
Ice prisons are gonna come in. More solvents. I feel like it'll be a smarter point, not just because I'm a player, like as of someone who actually goes up against these decks. I play different decks. This is my main deck with Eldritch because I like being.
You're eating glue for now.
For glue, right now, glue tastes like strawberries and anyone. But like hitting Cursed Elven is the play to me. Hitting Sanguine, a card that you can Ash, you can Bell, whatever, gives me a useless body afterwards. I would have, if you hit this to 1, I would have to open up my stuff. That means I have to use my resources right. If you hit my Sanguine, there is no way I can't manage my resources right. My deck is just completely dead. I have literally, I would have to put Hakero to 3, and I'm playing 6 useless traps that won't do absolutely anything unless I draw a gold. And at that point, that is literally unfair because that's the whole benefit of them banishing themselves so they can replace it. You're killing off a whole main concept. If you're going to do that, you better give me something in return for it.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. I'm not playing that spell. I'm not playing that quick play spell. That's BS. Oh, I have to have gold.
Same thing with like some people were suggesting banning Red Ice Fusion. Like not that that's a valuable thing. But some people were planning on banning Red Ice Fusion. Like suggesting it. The problem with banning Red Ice Fusion is that they would have to print another spell that would replace it.
Or trap.
Or trap, yeah. They'd have to print something to replace it, and I don't think Konami has that many plans to pull it.
Right.
So if they banned Red Ice Fusion, they would have to. They would basically.
Yeah, that's the reason why we said limited.
Yeah.
Not banned necessarily.
Yeah.
Because it's still acceptable.
I wanted to address that rumor that people have been spouting on Reddit. Like, no, they're not going to ban Red Ice Fusion.
Yeah. Limited is more like a reasonable approach.
But yeah.
I say they keep Red Eye Fusion to 3, and I say they keep Sanguine to 3. That is my thing. I just playing this game for a long period of time. Not saying I have more experience than them. Playing it ever since I was in elementary for things like this. It's a hit or miss. Sometimes they hit it, but I don't feel like they're going to kill a deck that's still meta relevant like that unless it's causing a main huge issue. Eldritch is competing. They're not dominating. They're not dominating like Drytron. They're not soaring up
I don't
like
think-
lyricists.
And they will. Like,
I feel like it's always gonna be a tier 1.5 deck.
If the format slows down enough, then Eldritch will be a problem. But as of right now, it's standing. It's
Like this format, like people say it's cancer. I mean, let's look at it here. You have Lyricus, you have Drytron, you have so many different Eldritch variants with Dragoon, whole bunch of different stuff. This format, you can't just go to a locals and say, I'm just gonna dominate this local if it's competitive. You just can't say, oh, I'm gonna dominate Sab Drytron because everybody's playing something different and that has some sauce in there that could win an event. Any of these top meta decks from 1.5 to tier 0, it's like battling each other for that top spot. BW beats a certain deck, Drytron beats a certain deck, Eldritch beats a certain deck,
realistically.
Lyricus, yeah. It's just one all big mixing pot. I don't know why people really complain because it's not to the point to where it was like rock format. It was like a Dragon Link or Adamantipator.
yeah.
And now everybody's
It's
playing
a-
even. But if you look at it, there's so many different decks out. Isn't that healthy for a game to have multiple different decks? Sure, the combos are annoying. But this is,
I mean, there's only 2 combo decks, realistically, if you look at it.
but they're still competitive with control decks.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a pretty good situation right now. You need to hit cards that absolutely needs to be hit. And Sanguine is not one of those cards.
Alright,
That's
Next take. So verdict on Sanguine.
3.
Now,
great.
I'd probably stand by 1 just because, from the road perspective, arguably, yes, in a highly competitive scenario, it's not as impressive, but you gotta keep in mind that even the general player base is what keeps Konami alive. And if Konami is going to have to deal with their least favorite thing in the world, splashability, what's being splashed the most right now? Eldritch and Dogmatica. But even Dragoon isn't showing up as much as Dogmatic and Eldritch.
Have you seen the Gravekeeper decks?
Great Creeper is just like, yeah, I just play Necro Valley and good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so.
Yeah.
Alright.
If they get rid of
Alright.
damage, y'all, that's what I'm playing. No mercy whatsoever. I'm pissed off.
Alright, next card. For Trip Gaming, Electromite to
It
1.
has to come back.
It has to come back one.
Is this play?
It might should play my Dynamis like for at least one tournament if Electromite comes out.
Like, listen here, Konami. Look, we know you don't like. He's funny. Like him. Jokingly, he needs to come back to Konami. Okay, but anyway, it should be hit at 1. There's so much support coming out.
The new chord is kind of good.
Like, to be honest with you guys,
Battlefields. So like it was also just like got new support too. Like if you want to sell like more BLO,
so we understand that you guys get mad at like a summoning thing that you guys created, but you can't punish the players who like it like that. I mean, like, you give us one good link. One.
Like a mini Electromite.
Yeah,
Then maybe.
that's fine, okay? But at this point, you're not giving us anything. You're giving all these busted cards that we can't use because we need Electrum. How is that fair? So let's argue this. People have Dragoon. People have Dragoon on Network.
Zeus.
People have Zeus. People have all of this, and people just can't have an Electromite that can hopefully pop one card to draw one card. Wow! You took away Kieran. You took away Monkey Bar. Finish one player. You took away that deer. Whole deer left. I'm dragging. I thought that was burning everybody. The one that we copied. But no. Having Venom Dragon was the problem. No, you're the problem here. Listen here, give me back my Electromite, dog. Because I'm gonna start saucing on these dudes with Absolute and then going into like Zephyr, Otherwise Vortex. I'm the man. Literally.
Well,
Give me back my
I
sauce.
might actually try my Dynamis for Electromite if Electromite comes back one.
Have me on GT.
It's not very good, I know. But it has sentimental value because it's the first deck I built when I got into this game.
You know where that Dynamis Electromite goes? Over there in that bin.
Very funny.
Hey, but no, boys.
See these jokers? Well, let me play my.
Hey, let me tell you something. My homeboy, when he made Dynamis when it first came out, he was playing Mass Change 2 with Acid and Absolute Zero. This man had the sun. Bro, I was there scared, shaking in my freaking boots because this man had 2 infinities, a freaking whatever link it was, a monster he can use to get, I forgot it was for Acid. I mean, Absolute. And then like a strike and like a solemn. I'm just sitting there like, how do I break this? And I was just like, huh.
It's like I have to go over a RaiJinnski, a customer, and 2 negates.
Looking at my force tolerance in my hand.
So
Rest in peace.
I don't really like. I'm kind of new to Yu-Gi-Oh because I haven't really been playing for even like maybe a year at best. I wasn't there for Pendulums. I didn't see Electromite at full power. Wasn't there for it.
So
My
let me,
only
let me say something though. When it was at 3, it was ridiculous. Because we can go with those 2 Electromites into Griffin and Beatrice in Imperial Order, and then we end on 4 negates in Imperial Order.
nice.
Constantly.
Okay, so that does sound pretty
Impressive,
powerful, especially back then. My argument for it is like if the remaining cards are coming out and they want to sell, if Electromite was that useful for 10 players, then why not? If you put it to 1, I bet you everybody would buy up that remaining card as soon as possible, and they would immediately start using it. RaiJinnski, I think, falls in the same line because as far as like our discussions go, we basically always look at it in the sense of yes, technically there might be smart fans, there's people out there saying like, yeah, this would be good, this would be healthy, but you got to keep in mind, Konami doesn't really actually care about what's good and healthy for the player base. They're thinking about what's going to sell and fill their pocket line.
Right.
When they hit the Rainy Court, Pendulums are going to be the rage. If something supports them directly, like Electromite, they're probably going to bring it back just for the Rainy Court. Let them bring full power for a while.
Then
and
people
then,
are going to argue because of the heavy metal films that they didn't release them in the first band list.
oh,
Yes.
So that is an issue. So Konami does honestly admit that they're really ashamed for releasing Pendulums. Have you read Magisters? Magiceptors? That thing. Have you read Kieran? You know what that is?
tell no one.
So you can't target or destroy this card, level 6. All of them will say you can't target or destroy them. They're pendulums. One searches out a trap, one searches out any of the monsters, other one sets a trap during the end phase, and then the other one adds another one to your hand. Curing, target one card in the field and themselves, bounce it back. You can't target it, you can't destroy it. 2000 level 6.
Also keep in mind, like the only time Konami did an emergency ban list was back in 2003, and
Bro,
it's like
Pepe, oh my god.
Pepe emergency ban and like the initial ban list,
Mhm.
like because of the auto lock.
And they
But,
even
you
played
know-
through the emergency ban list. They still played through it.
Yep, exactly.
It was
Alright,
But Electromite to 1 is the verdict of the table. Next, the obvious one, Firewall to 1.
it's
Cybers,
it's not even really.
Third one's the turn, like only decks that
I am saying this now. Cybers are 2 or 3 cards away from rocking this entire.
Dude, Code Talkers, once they get heat though, we're taking those spots, guys.
Well, if you think about it this way, we got Firewall coming back to 1 because of the Murata, and we're also getting Cyber support. The Cyber's plays are going to be nuts.
Yeah. Ignister and Code Talkers.
Dragon Link 3.0. Not 2.0. 3.0.
Yeah. Sign it, mine. Yo, consistency.
That is access code talkers everywhere.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's a cyber. Inherit cybers.
Remember getting OTK by it in combo format? You're gonna go back to it. Ain't nothing changed.
Alright.
That's the next one on the list.
Next on the list, my boy, purple boy, the Droll and Lockbird on legs, Colossus.
Nope. Nope.
The Droll and Lockbird on
Nope.
legs, Colossus.
Walking mistake on field that can protect itself. Nope. You got a problem with Dragoon. Imagine not being able to search anything.
Yeah, at least
Nope.
you target it.
Nope.
You can pass to it. Same argument for Dragoon.
It doesn't activate it for you not to search. What do you want to do? At that
You
point,
can target and banish it. You can't target and banish Dragoon, but you can target and banish.
partnered with that 3300 fusion that can pop 2 cards. like, and it doesn't activate, yeah, you can sit over there. Next card, never coming back.
Oh yes.
I have no comment here.
One
One
of
there
the
for it,
and
read the card.
But
Three of them, buddy.
the card is essentially a walking draw and lock.
It's a walking mistake.
It's a walking mistake. Yeah.
Read the card.
Imagine three of them, but so Danger Thunder was the most. It was the best deck that didn't win.
Yeah, it's the best deck that didn't win because it just timed you out because of the combos for so long. That was the deck that we were talking about the other week, where like
So
basically.
what was it like?
Um,
What was it like? Double mistake.
so Colossus, a hand rip, Chaos Rebel Lavinier is
Yeah. Whatever hand traps you had in your hand.
you either Dark Ruler no more or bust.
Dang.
Whoa, was there Dark Ruler no more in the format? Okay, but you didn't have the Bureau during it.
No, they came in the exact same time. So then no, we didn't have that. So yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You had evenly matched. That got negated by Savage.
Yeah, you're just like, okay.
So basically, you're like Lancia or bust. So yeah, imagine that in this format.
Right now.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, it beats Strike Trunks.
That's realistically.
It beats Benson.
Also, you're gonna get Thunders on the map, right?
Yeah.
Thunders ain't doing very much.
Thunders went from a meme of Thunder Dragon to terror overnight. It needs to be gone or to the point where it can come back. Can't come back right now.
The argument there is OCG has it on, but they hit the other consistency cards around it.
If they bring back Colossus, bring back Engage. That's the only way I accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably take that. I mean, like, Engage is a pot of greed granted for Sky Strikers, but, like, what does Sky Strikers do? Mystic Mine?
Yeah.
Like, you might as well just give them Engage, man. Like,
One,
they're just
one,
yeah, Colossus, you get one Engage. The one for one trade.
Have a trade.
yeah, because if I see Engage to 3, I'm like, alright, dude, can you just give me this deck real quick? I'm about to bust everybody up.
Where it's at, I would not.
It's fun to play. Have you seen that Eldritch? Yeah, Eldritch Spy Striker.
No, I know. I've dealt with that before. But like that's really that's another
Alright, next
thing.
card on the list.
The next one is Engage.
Engage? Oh, well,
Okay,
no, right now, no.
no.
No, it's just
It's just pot of green on sticks.
Sky Strikers have way too many things that they can.
everything is free. Everything's at free now except for Engage, right?
Multi-roll.
Oh, yeah. Multi-roll the 3?
Oh.
Hello?
That's like saying Curse Elven at B, which is what it is right now.
I know. It's so super funny. Says you can send something to non-active point activating your spell. One searches out a big golden dad. Which one do you think is more insane? It's your back row. Excuse me.
You can ask me that question in a couple months when we have Eldritch Fusion, then I'll tell you my opinion.
And then the next card on the list is here, since the glue player won last invitation, I'll summon them to 1. Even the glue player, the Guru Dragon players, who Caesar says summon limit to 1. Because we have too many floodgates in this format. There's Tikaboo, there's Rivalry, there's Gozen, and summon limit. And the other ones are not being played because of summon limit.
Right, so we just have to see what the next format has. See if it's getting to the point where it's too abusive. You need something to put other things in check.
Yeah, no.
Is it
But there's the other
Yes.
floodgates.
Yeah, but I mean,
But some element is
but other ones create literal locks with Zombie World. That's an issue.
Yeah, but in the highest contender, who's playing Zombie?
it's a good
all the
point.
stuff gets hit, and then Zombie World Eldritch is a thing that can. Zombie Eldritch is not a deck you can just sleep on.
Well, yeah.
That thing can come out of nowhere and win. That deck is also 2 cards away from being insane. So if they hit all the right stuff, they can still they'll do good.
The only problem I have with summon limit is I special summon, I special summon, then you flip summon limit. I can't special summon anymore. Versus where it's a rivalry, right? I special summon, I special summon rivalry. It just sends one of my cards to the graveyard rather.
Sir. You normal vanity ruler. I don't want to hear it. You normal vanity
I'm
ruler.
the only.
I don't want to hear it.
Apparently, I'm
I'm sorry that one card summons twice together and you can normal vanity ruler. 2600, 2700.
25.
2500 beat stick. I have to normal summon and beat. I don't want to hear it. You stay in your lane, Mr. Drytron player.
And man, nobody's playing Bentley Ruler because Ultimateness is such a better card.
Ultimateness now. Eva. Throwing Eva. Mister, I can't have summon winner, but you can have ultimateness. Stay over there. Next card.
I'd argue that summon limit, though. Honestly, I'm sure people are playing it, but you got to keep in mind.
There's not a lot of decks.
Nobody.
Yeah,
right
not a lot of
now,
decks that hit it.
It's not a big card being abused. The reason why that guy won is because nobody's prepping for back rotate in that sense. Yeah, we have Harpies, Feather Duster, and 1. You should not be dying to these.
We also have Lightning Storm at 3.
Yeah, people not really Lightning Storm right now on top of it. It's their own.
And people are complaining
It's their own.
in online tournaments where you don't have to pay for the actual cards.
Well, invitationals, keep in mind. It's supposed to do invitationals.
Okay, remote, but that's for people who are select and actually win and go walk to the top. They're not saying anything about it.
No.
Only Dominion said something
Yeah.
about it. Is it insane? Sure. He preps it. Not a lot of people even play Lightning Storms anymore.
Yeah,
Because, so it's like, he just made a smart meta call. Wow, he used his brain. Weird.
Honestly, I think it's the player base right now. I'm thinking that for some reason, because we went to a control meta, that taking Lightning Storm out was okay. I don't agree with it at all, and you definitely should be running Harpy with triple Lightning Storm and sideboard because we're in a control format
Right.
game. Deal with it.
Right. And if you don't play for it, Konami is not supposed to, but hurt the other players because you're not big brain enough to.
Konami's not gonna touch something.
Yeah.
It ain't.
And if they do, this is really.
Alright, next card would be Blaster. The Dragon Ruler.
No.
The fire one that just basically discards it under fire and whoa! It targets and pops a card.
Wait.
It's the fire.
What were those? S-Force? Or no, is it Spasm? Whatever?
Friggin'.
Brigands? Yeah, no, fuck that.
Even metal.
That character's the flash card.
That was freaking king.
You just don't care because I want to play Spurgeon Cinematica. You're gonna be socked by the Cronin.
You didn't get hit with the blaster? Yeah, no thanks, I'm good. I'm perfectly okay with not getting hit by that. My first tournament, I was playing with a crappy Mermail tournament ready eBay deck.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think about that. You go, no.
He was playing Fire Fist for when it was
2016?
yeah, was that where
Five.
that thing was out. Like that card was
That-
one. He kept on looping that against me. And just absolutely wrecking my day. He literally dropped turn. He was an asshole. I'm gonna tell you this, excuse my language. But because I was new, he wanted to pub stone. And he kept playing that deck and just booked me for an hour straight. Literally came back 3 years later, slapped his cheeks. What? Hey! Just a bad player, right? He got so mad. I clapped him for an hour straight. It was revenge. Oh, Satellar guys when they're full power? Boy, Diamond is really good against Shaddolls, y'all.
Yeah.
That's the next one.
You're not adding to
Oh, I'm not adding to the conversation. Oh, I mean, I literally made a couple jokes here.
About Blaster.
I said no. Did you not hear me?
Why?
Actually, I'm indifferent about it. You can put it to 1, you can keep it banned. Doesn't really gonna change anything.
Exactly. Like,
It's
the reason why.
just up to Konami at this point. Like, let's be honest here. Spriggans is not gonna be on it, and if they are, that's pretty bad. Ooh, Fire Fist? No.
So what's your argument of leaving it in the ban list?
I honestly don't know.
That's fair. He's new.
Yeah, sure.
It's a dragon ruler, basically. It has a baby that can search it by discarding what's a fire or a dragon with the baby, and then you get to special summon it from your deck.
And then it
Oh,
pops
okay.
more.
Yeah, and then you get to pop.
I don't think that doesn't seem like too bad of a
Yeah,
That's the reason why I said it's like.
Yeah,
it's-
no,
That's-
that's too bad of a effect.
I don't really care. Would I be mad and salty? I got lost by it, sure. But I mean, at that point, I just got sauce.
Obviously, we're not going to talk about Redux because Redux is just an extended.
Zoo would like to know your locations.
Exactly. The next card, Title. This is a controversial one.
No, Title cannot come back. You know how scary Mermails and them 5th decks are right now? Some of them are like 3 cards away from taking over mana, just like Photockers.
So if
No.
it searches a Wind Dragon, last their displays a card, read off and from the graveyard, title Foolish Bird, a water monster.
Yeah. That is
Yeah,
a huge and emphatic no, because Dragoons are like, we're there.
Yep, Atlantean Dragoons, the OG Dragoon.
It's just, no,
Yeah, maybe
leave that water.
Fish, like the fish one.
Change our mind. No. Sea Mermail's winning. Thing back to 1. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, if you're going to bring back Dragon Rulers, I want every Dragon Ruler then. Every single
full power dragon.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Super Retroops at 3 right
Yeah,
now. I know.
let's you want to bring back Dragon Rulers, we're getting
They're just gonna play Dragon Ruler Exotic, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yep.
If you get, you can have all your Dragon Rulers, give me back Spellbook of Junction.
No.
Going back to this format,
Uh,
folks and dragons.
it's a game like that once.
It is stressful.
Yeah.
You played one of those cards, so
You not want
Stun was really good back in that.
But it was like that percentage.
Yeah. I mean, Stun saw success. It won the world.
Close.
Listen,
But Dragon Rulers took it.
tell me, what exactly do Dragon Rulers do against a normal monster?
Summon big bodies like Chevy.
Yep, and then craft for game.
Yep.
Really fair.
So typical Dragon products.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just, oh, you draw
They
me.
made Dark Matter, then bring back to Dragon.
Sorry, does Roll not stop from special summoning from that?
No.
Is that not it?
Nope.
Fair.
Just adds cards.
You go back locked in.
Well, that's gonna be hard against.
Bro, that underrated card. What is it? Yo, it's pretty spicy.
I have a playset of them, and it's sitting around floating around.
In any case, the mana shows up.
It's just there because, like, if I do
You
that,
should just play Zoo.
just play Zoo. Yeah. I can't do it because I am afraid of the singular card issue. I don't like the idea of putting all of my plays on one card on board
Double summon.
because it's like
Double summon, you like double summon.
fair enough. But
Alright, what's the next one?
if you could break my entire combo with one ogre, which is what I need to do as Zodiac players.
No. We don't do that no more. We do Zeus. Where's Zeus?
I'm just thinking about going second to Zodiac because my unfortunate privilege is I always lose RPS to Zodiac players for some reason, so I get to watch them play the game.
Nepcrops is annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh my goodness. I can summon Nepcrops now.
Sorry, I seem a little, if you guys heard the comment I just made, I'm so sorry.
It's like, what's the next card?
Yeah,
What's the next card? What's the next card? I was
Next,
like, we,
sorry.
yeah.
I initiated now, like,
That's the reason why I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm the one who's like controlling the tempo of
Yeah.
what the card is.
yeah. Because I am initiated, I'm trying
Hold
to
up.
correct.
Hot take coming from Tib. All the solemn cards to 1.
All solves.
All of solemns to 1.
Knock down.
Yeah, Steven's holding to him.
I
Them to 1.
disagree with that.
Now listen here, let me explain one. The fact that I can run 3 judgments, 3 strikes. Can I run how many mornings? 1 morning, right?
You can run 3
I
mornings.
can run 3 mornings. The fact of the matter is, I can run all these cards and still be high on life, and then summon Dragoon or Zeus, and I just control the tempo. One, to be fair, the fact that there's 3 ofs in this format is ridiculous. It's going to be an issue, mark my words.
It was an issue back then during Zelda format.
It's going to be an
And
issue.
then they hit judgment to 1, and we had warning to 2, and then they hit warning to 1. So it's like,
It's
and
going to be an
for
issue.
some reason, when I came back to this game, it's just like, yep, it's a 3, and I'm like,
It's because
Excuse me?
Judgment to read it in the head.
yeah, because if you're in a combo format.
Oh, like, oh, cute, you put it
If,
back.
the only reason why it's at 3 right now is because of time. I promise you, it's going to be an issue soon. It's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
That's my hot take, bro.
Alright.
Next card would be feeding the Salamandri players a card. Mirage Valley. Nope.
From what I've seen of Salamander, like full power, I don't think we need Mirage back.
Well, keep in mind that has 3 Mirage Values versus just 1.
Sure, sound good.
Honestly, I think solid settings right now are at a really good spot. They're not great, but they're definitely far from terrible.
Right now,
Giving
their
them
access code turbo.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like everything can do it.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? Give him a bone. Give him Stalio. Circle to 1. Stays at 1. Stays at 1. You don't get the best at 1. Gazelle, 1.
Yeah.
You don't get the best of
It's
1.
not that great of a okay, it is a great of
Hey, then excuse me.
Player, I
It is a great card.
No.
But it's not broken.
My Sanguine gets to go to 1. You don't. There.
Alright, yo, hot take from me. Vanity's emptiness to 1.
emptiness. No, go ahead. Explain to me what this card does.
Ah, yes.
And why do you think it should go to
Because we're in a control format, right? If we're getting all the floodgates, we should get the best floodgate.
Okay.
So if I think no when I flipped over Banding Sentinels, what are you gonna do?
We cry. So this card does neither player can special summon monsters. Neither player can special summon monsters.
The card is sent from the deck or the field.
To your to destroy this.
So if all you have is Vanity's Emptiness,
You can pocket.
is it really even that good? It's a tenuous card.
Dragoon would like to say hi.
Yeah, you're right. And if I don't have 2 ways to pop out on your backboard, then yeah, maybe I'll run into some problems.
So the issue
Except
is
I would also like to say hi with Vanity's Emptiness.
So who?
So yeah.
So it is. Vanity.
I just don't want to say that
Ian is the casual player of the group, so don't roast.
But I mean, you can also Miss Prime Vanity's Emptiness on there.
Yeah.
So-
Monsters they can't.
So when you get like your boss, so your whole board is set up, right? Then you have Vanity's Emptiness.
5 negates plus
You
vanity.
can't even kaiju away their monsters.
Can't special summon?
Correct. It has the same ruling with vanity ruling.
Okay. So then,
So this thing of Kaiser Coliseum, but worse, because you can't special summon anything.
I say.
That's getting resolved. But when I do like Inspector Border, I'm just like, what are you gonna do, buddy? You can do pal normal something that's higher than 2100.
Okay. I guess if you put it that way, yeah, it's
Yeah.
fair. If you can't realistically get past their board state and they keep you locked out of being able to special summon, then you're
Yeah, when that was around, everything like Necros, big body monsters like 3,000 attacker plus,
Yeah.
and you have the normal summon, you're locked out of special summoning. It's just not happening. And Regeki was 1 at the time, so you had to draw Regeki or Dark Hole, or you just straight up lose.
You should not play the Astronaut.
No, it's there. It's
Yeah.
side deck.
It's for side deck.
Oh, okay.
Side deck.
So that way you don't want signing it.
that.
Because I could just go 3, then you would know it's 3 of.
But you just don't show me what you're citing in the first place.
Well, you would know how many cards I would sign.
No, you smoke screen.
Yeah, you
15
50
maybe?
and 50 now. That's what I do.
So half the time, I don't just take out all the side cards because I play. Here.
And the reason why I brought up Vanity's Emptiness to 1 is because Mystic Mind is up there.
No, Missing Mind is at
So far.
3. Element is a thing. Cosmics, Lightning Storms, Evenly, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mystic Mind is you can play around it so easy. It's like, okay,
Although
we can't have more creatures than you or else their Mystic Mind's dead. And if it's realistically Mystic Mind fast, you're like, cool, what if I just give you a creature and normal summon? What are you gonna do about it? The Mystic Mind pop.
No, they can't even do that because during the phase it just pops.
That's true. Oh right, yeah, you can't even drop Mystic Mind without having a
They
creature.
literally have to play like wobbling, whatever, wobby,
Silent
whatever,
Wobbler,
silent
yeah.
wobby.
Yeah.
That
think
deck is just horrible because Eldritch pops it, Cosmic pops it. Let's say they get game 1.
Yeah.
How much hate are you gonna have for that Mystic Mind?
Yeah, Lightning Storms even.
Another big point here that Mystic Mind is currently limited in the
Mhm.
so
A lot of like the back row and 8 and like all the other stuff is actually limited as well there, right?
yeah.
No,
No,
Cosmic's not.
I'm talking about like usual like hate, right? Those are the control format, and they're control format.
Well, they have Tops to 1, they have Red Viva to 1, they have Lightning Storms at 3, they have Cosmics at
Like
3.
us.
Yeah.
So all their hate stuff is the same way. If you don't draw it, you lose. But at that point, is game 1, you can give it to the Mystic Mind player. You're not winning game 2 or 3.
that's fair. I've had that situation when I played Mystic Mind a couple locals.
Like all thing you have to do is like, all right, cool, scoop. Wow.
Yeah, I think I only pulled off Exodia once because you got the first would not concede the Mystic Mine.
Yeah.
Would not concede this. Cancer sit inside or whatever.
I know, right?
But it's fine.
I'm going to sell my Mystic Mine. But unfortunately, they
No,
dropped
just keep
the
it. Just keep it. Just keep it. Just keep it.
Why?
They can spike up again out of nowhere. You never know.
I think the counterplay to Mystic Mine is too easy though. Especially like I know Link King isn't really big right now in this meta, but if someone drops Mystic Mine down and they can force to put at least one body on the field, what stops that person from literally just climbing their way out of the situation and then just walking over your one creature?
Well, it has to be one monster.
Yeah.
Because if you have two monsters, like most Link decks do, like two Link.
Yeah.
Their Link one is not strong enough to usually go against the monster that they have.
Sure, but I'm talking about like, okay, so Mystic Mine, let's say I go Mystic Mine, drop random creature on field for normal summon, so it doesn't pop.
I'll
Pass
say
over
Inspector.
Inspector Border. And then on their turn, they just normal summon, and then they're going to Link climb up to, I don't know, how about I just pull Mirage to a Parallel Exceed? Sure, I don't get my Parallel Exceed ability, but now there's a Link 2 play, so I
You
like
can't even activate the Parallel.
Yeah, you can't even activate the
You don't need to. Just put one on the field.
No, you
No,
can't.
you can't activate Parallel
You
Exceed.
can't activate Parallel you can't. You can't even activate Astral Mystic Mines on the field.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because
It's a monster effect.
Because it
It's a
affects
monster.
the opponent. It affects the opponent from activating monster effects, not the cards.
You misunderstand. You have the exact same amount of creatures. They can activate monster effects because I have one creature on field. You have one creature on field.
Well, you said Link summon, then summon Parallel Exceed. You have to have two monsters.
You don't.
No, you don't, because you have one monster, right? Yeah, I see where it's getting.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
let's see where you
I see what
No,
you're
no,
doing.
I will summon Trust and turn it into an Almirage. Then I Parallel Exceed. Then I turn that into two. You see how people can like climb through me? It's not that hard. Like
That's fair.
that's really
Unless you're running the deck I was running, and then you run like literally zero, like very few creatures, very few monsters. And the monsters you run, just go to the graveyard.
Yeah.
Before the next turn.
And let's keep going from there then. Okay, so on top of that, now we have the ability to get to a Link 2. If I can Link 2, I can Verte. If I can go Verte, now I can go and put I don't know, Dragoon on the field. Now I have one Dragoon. You have one monster. I have a negate with a large.
You have a first plan. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, you're true. And I would still have Verte on that one.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So Dragoon can't act.
understandable. How are you gonna walk over my Dragoon? with your-
I'm not. I'm just gonna draw into Exodia and win.
Well, yes.
Alright, let's see.
Exodia, you right.
Alright, let's be here, buddies. We're not doing a virtual like mind game. Alright, I have this. I have this. Let's go to the next card.
Yeah.
This is for another talk.
I'm just trying to say that if mine is on field, there's ways to play around it. That emptiness card is definitely going to be better than a mine because I don't have to worry about any workarounds because it's just there. No special summon. You can't do it. You can't work around me.
Yeah.
Mine is you can get around it. You can pop it in the usual style. You can play specific combos and orient your material to make sure there's only one activation per effect. Like, there are things to work on with it. So,
Yeah.
I don't think mine is suppressive as people like to think. The only time it becomes actually problematic is when Sky Striker shows up and just looks at it. Like, that's the only deck playing mine efficiently right now.
I mean, there's Prank Kids. The Prank Kids got well poke loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I think we should.
Hey,
I love you, Mister.
it's like Prank Kids wants to go to time. Mystic Mine.
Everyone ignore him. Next card.
Verdict on Mystic Mine.
It's fine.
it's fine.
Yeah. I think it's fine too. Next card is Swiper's one.
Yes, I think it'd be a nice card for these chaos decks that are coming around. This would give more variety to the deck. What is it going to get? Like Legionnaire or something like that? That's fine.
7. It has to be 7.
It has to be 7 or higher.
I think it's
higher.
7.
Yeah, it's 7 for higher.
Oh, yeah, 7 or higher. Yeah,
Yeah.
7 or higher.
It's 7 higher, lighter dark. It gives you red NMD, and red MD gives you free spell summons.
You can also get Living Here off it too.
Right. Or so like all those targets is like once per turn. It's pretty cool. It's like
It's just another extender.
so I feel like it's pretty cool.
Keep in mind that now versus then. Why would they have banned it back then? It's like, well, you remember when Red MG was? It was her turn.
That was under.
Or like Future Fusion sent 5 cards to the graveyard because Future Fusion was essentially foolish for 5 because the way it's worded. But now they obviously errated Future Fusion.
So I feel like at this point in time, they can come back to 1.
They can come back to
would be
1.
way too much.
Yeah, up to 1, give them a little extra utility. Let's see what
Chaos Space and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, especially with Chaos Face like being printed for the first time. I think it's a good one.
Like, there's always gonna be players that love Chaos Space. And Chaos Space, I mean, Chaos decks are always gonna be around. Chaos Lightsworn, oh, that'd be pretty nutty with the Wyvern in there. So,
Yeah, okay, actually, I just read that second part. Yeah, that's
It's good.
that's good.
If this card is banished from the
So,
graveyard, you add the banished
We got
cost.
white baby, black baby over here.
but they're at 1.
And they're at 1, but like with that, now we're basically if you take those two with Eclipse River, you might as well have the full engine right there. It's like
Well-
this is gonna take care of some very inconsistent.
So what does it do? So Chaos right now can't compete compared to what's going on. The only way it can compete is Chaos is like Dragon Link's using their engine.
Yes.
But I mean, like, that's going to be used in a Chaos, like, Lightsworn, Dragon type deck.
You can also-
whatever.
Yeah.
So, it just, at this point, this will give the players more, like, ceiling to do some cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
That's only, I'm not trying, because, like, Legionnaire and Red MD are the ones that are going to be used by this. Legionnaire is already certain both Chaos Phase. It just gives the deck a little bit more, like,
more
personality.
targets.
Yeah.
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 And with the other secondary effect though, getting the card back, do you banish for the cost of that card?
It's not cost. So if this card is sent to the graveyard, you just banish
Yeah.
level 7 or higher.
You can answer banish by discards effect.
Yep.
So sorry, it's not a cost, but the effect of banish being point being,
Yeah.
it's very easy for chaos to banish on like from
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it gives you like it's like Star Legion. It just gives the deck more.
More
consistency.
more consistency.
So I'm just saying, like, give them 1, not 3. We're not trying to abuse the.
Yeah, because like you could just go Chaos Space, search block, search block, and then trigger banish like a Chaos Dragon Library, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Special summon, banish, grab it. Like
I mean,
it's too much value. It's too much-
so like if there was that 3, there'd be too much. 1 is a cute, cheap play.
Yeah, it's
Will it start some problems later on? We don't know yet. The world for Lightsworn and that type of stuff is open.
so yeah. It's basically like the same argument of like Chaos Space pitching answer under. It's the same plus, basically.
I'm biased. It's a dragon. Bring it back.
I mean, 1 is fine.
1 is fine.
I think we're good.
All right. Next card, Orcus R4.
No, all I know about Orcus is that
Keep the rank 0 or 1, whatever, level 1, whatever it's called. What is it?
This.
Mermaid. Keep Mermaid banned. You can give them hardcore. They need the help. Like,
Yeah,
that's
they
not
need the
good.
help.
whoa.
This card. So basically, you can manage this card from your graveyard, and basically it's just special summon an Orcus from your deck.
But see, the issue
But
is
it locks you into darks.
Yeah. locks you in the darks. Yes, but I mean, like, there's not like too much they can really go into that's abusive. So Appaloosa, it's not dark.
It's not Appaloosa is not dark. The only thing that they can go into is Galatea, and there's an IP.
What's the
And you know,
card that gives you the token on normal summon?
Gears.
Gearsu.
Gearsu. It is normal summon, yes?
Yes.
Or is it any summon?
Let's see. So Gearsu is
Normal or special? Then no. I would not want
normal or special.
You would never want to see that ever in defense.
But the issue is,
That is way too good.
but the issue
Way
is,
too-
yeah, but the issue is, it's like, where it was really getting abused was Mermaid. Mermaid was just turboing out everything to where it's insane, to where you can run like you can run it in a random deck and just run that engine in.
Mhm.
Like, if you just give them just one, they would have to literally hope like their Foolish Burial goes through. They have to hope their Big Monster goes through. You have to hope that your Heart Pourer, your one
Control corner.
that gets Ash, if it doesn't get Ash, or Bell, or whatever it does, whatever it's hit by, you have to hope that it doesn't get hit.
Yeah.
And even then, even with this going off, this doesn't do much. IP is the only thing that goes into
Yeah.
the unicorn.
Because it locks you into darks.
The only issue is if they go into Birthday, and we already said we want Birthday gone.
Yeah.
And Verte
So,
definitely is
so
not.
in this circumstances, if birthday is banned, this card could possibly.
I can still say come back even with Vertex.
Okay.
Yeah, just one.
My problem right now is like I'm actually thinking if this format speeds up, we walk away from control at some point in time. Let's say for whatever reason, the VFD eventually banning or limiting will somehow cause us to move farther away from control and get back towards the comboing formats. If that happens, consider this. We're about to get something that's going to allow people to get through every handcraft in the game. We're getting cards that are going to allow us to suddenly start seeing more combo capability. People are going to start playing faster, more combo-centric cards. And back in combo, Orcus, that card was not to sleep on. And if you give Orcus a card that gets that for free with the special
But
summon,
keep in mind,
It's not free though. You have to get your resources there.
it's just an extended.
It's just an
Think of it as LP.
it is, but the fact of the matter is like Orcus were already pretty strong. The Dark Lock, yes, is problematic, but if we go back to combo and we go back to Link, it ain't like people were playing non-Dark Links anyway.
This is a control deck. This is not really a combo deck.
Yeah.
So the strap wire
Yeah,
can be argued,
Yeah.
but it just sets on IP, and then they're just going to hopefully go unicorn or grocery. That's literally it.
Yeah.
That doesn't do. When it came out, the decks didn't do much compared to now. And look at the decks coming out. Isn't Spriggans like control or something like that?
Spriggans is control, yes.
And then other decks are controlled. Dogmatic is controlled. This, even with VFD gone, VFD is combo.
Right.
So if that's gone, that's the dropping of one combo deck where all the controls are just thriving. This will have a hard time keeping up with a torrential. With one strike can kill this whole entire deck.
Yeah.
One call by, one ash, one gamma seal, done. So they need as much help as they can get as an archetype. Giving them one is okay. 3, ridiculous. Mermaid, hell no. Just giving them that one, and this can just be negated pretty easily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Orcus scrap does sound like it's going to be problematic. I do fear the idea of giving Orcus any form of extension, and that's simply because of what I've seen.
Even at full power, they didn't play scrap. They had mermaid. Mermaid's the issue card.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but like you got to keep in mind, like now, what if it happens? If we give Orcus an extension,
There's nothing that they can be splashed into really besides dangers, because every other thing like right.
scrap's not done.
No,
They're
they're Earth.
There.
So like there's like one deck that like it was Sky Striker, Danger, whatever, but there was just spells and they had engage.
Yeah,
So-
engage.
So like all the good cards got hit from this deck. This is just giving a deck that's literally has a big bit. Let's be honest, a big fan base and high technical play. Just one card, just one like. If anything, I equate it to the same as Eclipse.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
the dark card lock is fair enough that even if they got it back, it run it.
They can't even use that anymore to go into needle fiber and do all the rest of the stuff.
Of course.
So they're just kind of stuck. They can't do scrap wire for the plays no more.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same argument too. The
So
solid.
that has to be normal summon because all the ways to get that out special summoning is more.
All right. The last card on the limited list. The grass on the other side.
I love it, but
Nah.
Grass looks greener on the other side, as they say.
I haven't heard about that card. I think that starts between here.
So,
I was playing 60. They can run Eldritch in it too, which would be even cheeky.
so if everybody's playing 60, then what does that card do? Exactly.
But the issue is everybody likes that type of milling stuff. People are going to play Spriggans. People are going to play 40 card builds because they believe 40 cards the right way.
Yeah.
So the argument against the grass is greener is what? People were building ridiculous size decks, activating it, getting absurd amounts of plus off of cards activating in grade. We have a lot of
I could just chuck in a Visceral.
like shotgunning Abyssal would be a great way to go through it. Yes, if they go first and they activate grass is greener, you're probably good.
You can also Ash it too.
Because it's sending it to grave. So I'd say arguably right now we could get away with it being into the deck, and I think it would
It would basically diversify deck building too, because now are you wanting to do actual 40? Because everybody's running 40.
40 or
60 is like very rare, right? Like obviously there's just good stuff 60 card dot deck, but like
Yeah,
what other 60 card dot deck is out? Nothing.
that's fair. Personally, I don't like the idea of Draft Sphere. I think Draft Sphere needs to stay in the balance.
You know what?
You could also change dimension shifter to it, boys.
Honestly, I'm saying this in
Yeah, but that means you having to play. It's making me force you to do something different.
Yeah.
And even if then that becomes unplayable and kind of unfair.
It's like,
So I feel like just
Yeah.
just for right now, no.
Yeah, because like I can see the other side too, where like I activate this one card that can potentially do +9. You have to interact with this, and I can go off and map the card. So I can see the other side of the argument there.
So right now, no.
Yeah, I agree with one.
You know.
I just like, yeah. I would be funny to see. I'd just like to see it to see what is
I'm not
spicy
playing
things
Last
would
Chance
happen.
again.
Yeah, I Chaos
Wait,
Swords.
Eclipse Wyvern? Oh.
Chaos Swords.
I might have throw Orcus in there, dog. That's just everything.
Then-
Alright.
Alright, now to the next cards. I don't know why this part exists, but semi-limited.
Semi-limits.
Like I don't even
Do
know
we
what
really
to do.
do we really want to talk about this?
Yeah.
It's like there's only kind of like
Let's just talk about
it's like malicious.
just two.
Like just a two malicious. Like that's pretty much like the reason why.
Do we even have anything on the semi-limit?
Red Reaper.
Sort of, but like
Only one that I can really think of is Red
you
Reaper.
could involve by.
Red Rooted.
Everything called by call.
I want Call by to be limit, but I would get that too.
You kind of have to take it where you can.
If you gave me Red Reboot it to Call by it to, I think realistically this meta would be a little less cancerous to me because they'd have answers to things. They wouldn't be just sitting there waiting for you to.
Depends on the where you stand on the board. When you get Red rebooted and you're about to go ahead and Brawl Sword me and I'm just screwed, then that's kind of cancer.
Yeah.
I can't interact with you.
Yeah, and like that's the play there, of course, and then that kind of relies on you not just putting gas in,
All traps. You have to play
You
quick
have
plays.
to play quick plays. You have to run cyclones. You have to run Twin Twister and LCs. You need to be ready to take care of other people's reactions. Granted, you do run into the issue that Reggie moves a reaction, so like they're just gonna activate it in response. But there are other ways around it. I'm sure.
Which Red Reboot was a normal form?
If Red
If
Reboot,
Red Reboot was a normal trap, I think it's a little bit more fair.
I think the problem with that is if Red Reboot was a normal trap, why would I even run it? Because then
Still pretty good.
they would just chain the response, and then I get no wild value out of it. They
It's
just go,
still pretty good.
It's still pretty good.
I just lost it. Not like just get one trap effect unless they just use all of them and then they have to waste it on
I
one
mean-
card.
that's the problem right now, though, is like what stopped an Eldritch player from literally like, okay, they activated trap. I read reboot, but it's not a counter, so then they just go, cool, activate every single one of my trap cards.
Well, because most of our traps are reactionary.
But what if you just got the value? End of turn, you still plus because you
I would have to set. I wouldn't waste wouldn't waste my monsters I could do on your turn. I'll probably just something like Golden Lord and defense and hope for the best. And I feel like it's a fair card. You can still pay half so activate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like it's just fair because that'd be like really aggressive. But
Yeah, it being a counter trap is definitely harder to interact to, and that's the reason why like you can counter at when Solemn.
Yeah, and Solemn's the best answer to it, realistically. It's like, cool, you activate it, I activate my
And it's the
It's up for debate. I would like to reboot back to 2 because of the format we're in, and that's literally the only reason. Because at this point, everybody's running like 5 traps every single turn, and Red Reboot's really the only other answer outside of Harvey's Feather Duster every single turn.
yeah, and obviously we have Lightning Storm too.
Yeah.
And then Lightning Storm is the fallback guy. But again, we do run into the same situational thing. I activate Lightning Storm. You just respond with all of your trap cards. You still gain all your effects, and there's nothing that did.
Well, it just depends on the matchup, what it's at. Because sometimes, some of them just it's all reactionary. Getting rid of my strikes, getting rid of my. Okay, I
Ice
might
Dragon
chain.
freezes.
Yeah, I might chain.
It's like you always activate Lightning Storm first, and then they can't activate because you don't have a board to respond to.
So it's pretty good on it.
Yeah.
So what's the next one? That's really different.
Fine, and that I really want to talk about. Okay, Unlimited.
We have our yellow card.
Spank the top.
Tank tops.
Spank your tops.
It can only be special summoned if your opponent controls a monster.
There's
It's
no
used-
more monsters specifically.
Oh, more monsters than you. So realistically, it's going second. It
Yeah.
kind of gives you a little bit of advantage in the middle of a game, but it's just a top guy. It ain't that strong.
Well, so the issue is when it was out, pendulums were using it too. So like it's a level 7 26 beater that summons itself for free, and I can do it during other players' turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tribute as
Yeah.
So you couldn't get rid of it. You can't strike it or judgment, and that's it.
Cold Vicer.
All that is also
But
coming.
that's out one.
Now that, but we have so many negates. Why does it matter? All Tank really does is it oppresses somebody who only has one.
Plus, it promotes going second, because the permit right now also promotes going first, 75 back row pass.
So I think 3 is fine.
I would like Tank to be 3 because then I might be able to see Dino wrestlers come out and play. And that'd be fun.
Yeah, I
They have
think
some interesting interaction.
These 2 rogue players, alright.
that's 2 rogue players. Yeah.
I just play whatever deck I feel like playing.
Yeah.
I play Clue.
I think
Look, you either play to win or you play
100%.
between it.
This is fun.
No, it's fun. Like, no, winning every game is fun. Your 6 best cards.
This even took my deck on, what was it? Omega?
Omega,
And he won every single match.
because there's no stopping. It is the best.
Hey, what else do you have on the list?
Let's see here. Unlimited Second Slide.
So it's fun.
Say
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Second Slide.
BAs are no longer relevant. What do you do? Everyone uses spells. It's fun.
Yeah, it's that card that's basically pottery, but it forces you to not play spells.
So
Honestly, same logic. Don't see them, bring it back so I can see them. That's
Yeah.
it. Your deck popping up, and you're like, cool, I don't know what that does. Let's see what it does.
Alright, features.
What is
no,
it?
no.
Best BE monster.
Oh my god.
Yes. Farfa. Farfa.
Oh, is it-
It's still a card,
No.
Like in all, like meta. Let's just think about this in a big brain play. Griffin is still a card. Curious is still a card. No, this is just loading up skill drain. This is loading up Imperial Order. This is loading anything you want. It sends anything you want to Gravy. It has no restrictions.
I think we're. I think.
Griffin says when he summons the field, you can discard a card.
Oh.
Target one spell or trap, set it on the field.
So Beatrice to Griffin, and immediately
Exactly.
Nightmare Griffin? You talking about Nightmare Griffin?
Huh?
You guys want Nightmare Griffin? That's not what it does. It destroys the spell count.
No, it doesn't. It sets it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You can't have
stresses
Nightmare
out
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I'm thinking of Phoenix. I'm so sorry.
Griffin's Griffin's not used much right now. But
Yeah,
Griffin's
pretty
fair.
yeah, Griffin, but like that's fair. So Beatrice basically gives you the ability, like Beatrice and Griffin will give you the ability to basically take
So any card you want.
card you want from your deck free to the field.
It's Lavalval Chain.
Yeah,
Yeah, level chain, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I
But
think
that's
a
the other
bit-
card
that's a bit
too.
that is a bit.
Those basically running 3 like foolish burials. Foolish burial. You know, on during other player's turn. Right?
That's a link 3,
4.
4, and you want to go to an Exceeds and a link 4 just so you can take.
That is super.
Yeah.
Really easy. You can just take 2 link 2s. No one's.
Yeah, I think Beatrice can
That's
That's
a lot of
So to be honest, Pendulums can crap that out. BAs can crap that out. Any deck that spams can crap that out.
So,
Things like
even then,
Can
But back then too, you didn't have the hero.
Yeah, like that's my question though. It's like, yes, technically any deck can do anything, but how do you play it under Nib?
So Nib is understandable, but like no one's really playing Nib in this format, and you're coming out of nowhere saying Vanity's Emptiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imperial Order.
Yeah.
Skill Drain.
Some of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can get whatever you want because chances are it's game 2, game 3. I know what you're playing. F you. You're not winning this game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a little bit too easy side deck choice. You could literally throw Beatrice, Griffin, and then like some lockout cards into a side deck.
You can just run spamming whatever, get into it, send it, then just spam again, and just it's ridiculous.
yeah.
Especially with needle fiber in the thing, because this part to where you can actually link off and do other stuff with it. That's
That's
just insane.
that is real. And because
We have Needle Fiber Man.
It's like, okay, so like, okay, well, 2-body willpower. Falcon will get free 2. That's 3 bodies. Now you just need to get your Beatrice on field and
You
one
run dangers.
more
Dangers.
danger, so it will get you there. Maybe that's
This deck's usually use charge of the light brigade, stuff like that. Since stuff's cost, mill, infects engrave, malicious.
I mean, that's the reason why we need malicious.
Yes, that's fair. Yeah, I guess Beatrice probably could stay where it's at.
Their BAs can still be like edgy boys, and just with the new link, they can just summon 2 Beatrices, and they're like, we got the law. You're like, nice monster. Mind if I ARPA?
Honestly, though, I might need to look into Beatrice. We can send in.
It's 2 level 6s. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Or you can take 2 level 3s and then put it on top of a BA monster.
It has to be BA. Because you go Dante Beatrice.
Confident Beatrice, yeah. You have to see and realize level 3s spam so easily.
Yeah, there's literally a deck called like.
Oh, by the way, you don't have to keep Beatrice on the field, so you send it off and use that this link material to get to Griffin.
Oh, I see. You
Yeah.
just use it for first effect. It doesn't need to be there.
Right, it
So,
doesn't have to stay there.
in that case, you would build the Beatrice first, then go help and tuner, then take Griffin, and then put it on the field. Okay, yeah, that sounds. That's good.
Yeah, no, I don't think it does. I don't think you're anywhere near phase 1.
Yeah.
Especially if Destrudo comes.
Mm.
You can send Destrudo to graveyard. You can send my Sanguines to graveyard. You can send like an Alistair for like an invocation you have in your hand to graveyard. You can do whatever you really want.
I just want to send a
Orcus?
person to the grave.
Yeah, that's true.
In reality, I just want, that level 1 Xyz for Drytron and Beatrice. These not really send like 6 cards.
Beatrice is a limited card right
Yeah.
now.
It's at 1. You can still do the combo, but at 3, you can
Yes.
just abuse it over and over.
Yeah.
and over.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
Alright, Regeki 3.
That's fine, yeah.
I feel like that's fine.
Getting the 3 I think is fine.
People are okay with Zeus at 3 right now, but we mean like.
Yeah. I don't think the only reason I would say that Raigeki wouldn't go to 3 was like this back in the day they were trying to sell like obviously. But
Yeah.
right now it's like, what's the difference between Raigeki at 3 and Lightning Storm at 3? Everyone bought their Lightning Storms. And they're either gonna buy it now because of the versatility, or they can just go to Raigeki if they put it at 3.
And Brigaki could also be just a budget option for
Though keep
you
in
can't
mind,
afford a lightning storm.
Just go down.
Konami needs to reprint another Lightning Storm before you do that.
Yeah.
It's maybe not this ban list.
Most likely it's not going to be this
Yeah.
balance. Also,
You just say you can come through it, come back to 3, and I really wouldn't care.
It's
and
not
also, Lightning Storm has limitations because you cannot control a face-up card.
Yeah.
Regeki I can just activate even though I have.
right.
Well, if you are already struggling to build it on board, it can just be a win more card, or it can just be top back.
I mean, in this format, you have so many negates at this point. It's like you need 2 in your hand just for it to resolve.
Yeah.
And even then, like almost every deck floats now for somewhat.
Yo, and pain, Regeki be girls. I dare you.
Put more pressure on decks that want to have field control with monsters. And honestly, nobody's stopping you from Dark Ruler to Raigeki. And if Raigeki goes to 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Raigeki is probably going to be mainstay against anyone who thinks that they can just combo board out. They're just going to like turn it off slow.
Yeah. Like Dark Ruler no more, Regeki and Nib.
Yeah, like
You have to, but you also have to say torrential, and you'll see like and whatever.
Yeah.
One's literally a quick to put this crap, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
One, it does the same thing at this point. There's so many like board wipes around. This point, the Geki at 3 is just whatever.
Raigeki at 3 is just going to make
Because
it
Dark Hole is at 3, and they don't do Dark Ruler no more in Dark Hole.
Yeah, but that's because it blows up your own board. Here,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
nowadays it doesn't even matter because Unchained rolling around.
Yeah.
Dragoon can play Dark Hole because it says now the player can destroy it,
Yeah.
so you can Dark Hole your own field.
Yeah, that's true. And then, like, honestly, I guess Raigeki at 3 would just promote, like, honestly, who's going to benefit?
Budget players.
Diamond players.
Budget like little
I
players,
know.
players who can't like afford lightning storms, kind of gives them a chance to compete because at this point they're like, wow, I really need to clear out this board, but I'm not going to bust out. How much is lightning storm now?
Like $80.
$80.
So 240. Yeah,
That's worth it.
it's 240. A set.
Yeah.
A set. You need a set. You need a set.
So at this point, Light Storm just sounds worthwhile.
Yes.
Lightning Storms to sound pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, the most controversial and final card, my favorite card, the one and only hand trap Vaxi.
It's saying, man, if it comes back, I'm playing Goat, and that's my statement.
Well, no, I don't think Maxine is available in Goat.
So I'm playing Goat.
That's the
That's the point.
He's getting away from Maxi.
he's getting away. From
Oh,
Vaxi.
okay.
So OCG has been perfectly content with Maxi.
However,
They've been playing.
they have Fall by the Grave at 2, and they also have Cross.
Yes, they do.
So basically, Vaxi became like a main staple, like as pocket.
See,
Correct. You can also draw Maxi. You can also Gamma Maxi. So, like there is counterplay to Maxi.
But-
It's just going to be a staple. Like everybody will be running Maxi on top of.
But that's the thing, is like at this point, like what's the difference? OCG's been doing it.
because control players are going to laugh at you because they're about to get literally every single trap, side deck, whatever, after sitting on 4 back row, and then you're just comboing off. And then they trench you at the right time, and now they have 4 cards in their hand. They just drew.
Yeah, and I don't think Maxine can come back.
I don't think you can.
I don't think Maxi coming back at all. Because if the OCG's been handling it fine, there's no reason we can't handle it over.
Until we get the stuff that we can remove it with, none.
Cross out designator.
Give us out.
That's the issue.
That's the question.
When
So if we get like 3 months before it comes back, do you want to go to a local? They'd be like, okay,
my one of Called by the Grave for this.
invocation, Maxi.
Dude, I about it. Because, like, again, I go to the locals. What's the most commonplace hand trap right now? Gold
It would be Maxi.
and Lancer. And they'll be like, oh, Maxi. Like, cool, I just droll it. Like, I droll everybody. Because we're all running droll at 3 or Lancia at 3, depending on which
Yeah.
deck we hate more. And, like, bro, I see you in it. Call by that one.
Okay, what about online then? Online, online plays.
I keep trolls at 3.
In your game? Well, like game 1 is really important in this like format. So if you get max seed, you're going to have to stop your combo.
Oh, you don't understand. If I don't RPS and get the win on the first turn, I don't care. It's like, oh, I didn't go first on game 1. I just concede to game 2 in each side deck. It's like at that point, all game 1 is
Big brain, everybody. If you don't win the die roll, scoop game. All right, dog, you got it. Game 2.
to this situation of just like, if you don't know what they're playing, fuck. Sit there, watch them combo for a bit, do their fucking shenanigans, and then figure out what they're playing. Do the game 2 and sideboard against them. Why are you struggling uphill to get something like that?
Some days can go through it. You never
Some
know. It's
days-
always worth trying.
Some,
Yes,
yes,
I personally don't think
Not
Maxine should
all.
ever come back. Like, ever.
This man, if you see 1 negate, all right, you got it. You're
Yeah.
just like, what?
Or like he's like normal summon live and like Ash is like, yeah, game 2.
But we're like, just cannot go around that. Yeah.
So let's argue for the sake.
Unless I have, the only reason I switched
Honestly,
this
the cards that they're
is because I do not have a live twin home in my hand. If
Look,
I had a live twin home in my hand, I would not be scooping.
listen, I understand the pain, alright? I get it. And I understand that, yes, maybe I should sit there and watch them combo for 30 fucking minutes. Excuse me. So that they can enjoy the game.
So would you say someone would walk up and do with this hand?
And yeah, what would you do with a Zexel and every card of
we go Gamma Red Reboot that ass.
yeah. Let's go back to Red Reef at 3.
No.
Because I'm people just going and put Sanguine, Solemn Judgment, Needle Sealing, a Solemn Strike, and a Solemn Judgment, and also Zexel. It's like, yeah, cool, so I get to do draw top, nothing. Like, really? I'm wasting all that time. I might as well just concede on RPS.
Alright.
At least I got
So-
something for game 2 and 3.
Is that all the list for my cards?
Yeah, that is definitely all of the list of cards, and it's definitely a long ride, 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours?
Yeah, no, I've been checking the time the entire time.
It's
And
2
so-
hours, so this is definitely gonna be cut to, like a 3-parter, the band itself, the limited, and like the second and unlimited is just gonna be compiled all together.
Yeah.
But Yeah, we're just gonna do a triple series here, and I'm just gonna cut these
Yeah.
podcasts essentially because this is essentially a podcast.
Anyway, y'all, thank you for listening
Thank you
in
for
to
listening.
our
Thank you for listening.
shenanigans.
Yep.
I'm Bigman Yugi.
I'm DuoCat.
RaiJinnski.
Dragon made best deck.
Hratis over here, Dragon made best deck. Second best deck is apparently plans to not set grand trends.
Duo Twins best deck.
Evil Twins. Aw, yeah.
You know what's best deck? Junks.
He is the deck.
I hope y'all have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, morning, whatever. And we'll see
Please
you next
like and
video.
subscribe.
That was fun.
Right.